Patrik Antonius first step in 1-1-2-2. I heard that match is incredible. You're not going to want to miss that one. And then after that, we'll have our last semifinal match. The winner of that match takes on Mr. Sam Greenwood, me, Nick Showman in the house right now. Nick, you ready to get after it?
I am, Poppy. I mean, rubber match to get into the finals. Doesn't get much better than this. Ivy, Jack of Diamonds, 4 spades here. Come with a half-pot winner. Good start for him.
Who do you think the fans are rooting for out there? Chat? Let me know. YouTube, Twitch?
Let us know, guys. Twitch, YouTube, people. Who are we rooting for out there?
Yeah. Phil Ivey or Chris Kruk? I support Chris. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I like Phil too, but Chris is my guy, so.
Go back a long way with Phil. Love Chris too, though.
I like Chris, man. Really funny guy.
He is a very funny guy.
All right, here we go. Remember, guys, 125 big blinds. That blinds go up every 9 hands. Best of 3. Finals are best of 5. $400,000 up top. 32 players. Mix of legends of poker. Some of the best current online. Doug Polk was in the mix. Debatably one of the best. You never know. And some influencers, some businessmen, some online qualifiers. And look where we're at. We got some of the top players in the world still in it right now.
Ivy checks the 8-7 over to Kruk. Check back flop with this king high. Checks turn again. Interesting, Ivy with the half pot. Half pot heroics, Poppy.
I mean, you
And
can't
does
win.
Chris raise this half pot size? He doesn't. Winner.
Thanks, sit down. Puppy Butter 73. Nick and Poppy are peer commentary gold. Thank you, Puppy Butter. Much love, Poppy. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Thank you, Puppy Butter.
Puppy Butter.
Puppy Butter. I'm not even gonna ask.
I don't even know what that means. Yeah. Puppy Butter. What? Uh-oh. Flush draw for Ivy. Backdoor flush draw in second pair. For Mr. Chris
clear,
Kruk.
just call, nothing else. Oh, and it's the most dynamic turn we could think of, guys. King's up for Kruk, open-ended now for Ivy to complement the hearts.
Big pot energy brewing here. Little check raise, maybe.
Let's see what Kruk comes with against this 2/3-ish sort of size.
Uh-oh.
He does come with the 4X and Joey.
An offsuit 4-9.
A lot of outs for Ivy, a 2-1 dog, but 4-9 heart.
That'd be it if he hits an offsuit 9. He'll call the heart 8-4-9. River's an 8. Counterfeit that king 7 though.
Right.
If Chris checks. Phil's got to go for it.
Does he?
Yeah.
Maybe he does, Poppy. At least sometimes. Just 8 high, guys.
He does go for it. 19,000.
Usually, in theory, these counterfeited 2 pairs just call the end, but
tough decision here for Chris Kruk.
Comes with half pot. It's so scary in this spot. He does pay it off. Well done. Bravo, Chris. Nice hand. Just like that, he has commanding lead, almost 3-1. We see how fast it can happen. Open-ended straight draw, flush draw for Ivy there on the turn 2 pair for Chris. So, I mean, understandable.
What about that bet size from Ivy on the river? Goes to the half pot.
I think it's okay because he can have things like King Queen in that size, King Jack. I mean, you can go a bit bigger, but you know, it certainly can have a lot of value in it. But Chris just looked it up, and that got shot with the club for Chris. Top pair for Ivy. Let's see, 3-turn, 2-tone now.
The chat's a little fired up both ways. A lot of Phil Ivey fans up there. Some Chris Kruk fans as well too.
Shout out Kruk fans out there too. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's 2 barrels.
Phil. When you're up against the GOAT in the final 4, you need a little love out there. Kruk barreling off again with the plan. Fire a club, fire a spade. Let's see about this ace of diamonds. We do block tons of draws if we're Kruk, but just 7 high. These spots are weird. 5-7 of hearts is a much cleaner bluff than this, but again, just 7 high on the end. And he does shut it down with the dual kind of flush interaction. Logical.
If he makes a big bet there, Queen 9 on Ivy's end, what do you think about?
Spot.
Yeah.
Mix it. Call a fair amount. Hold sometimes.
So we go 164 to 85, the last match here. Phil Ivey, Chris Kruk, the winner, makes it to the finals, plays for the championship and for $400,000. I wonder if they get a sick trophy in this one. I'm pretty sure they do. I hope they get something
No, it looked
besides
pretty,
the 400K.
it looked pretty flavor. I saw it.
Yeah.
Got shot here for Ivy, 10-7 off. Let's see. Maybe Kruk is content to just check, although very stabbable kind of board.
Big Kruk energy, BKE. Okay. I like that, Benjamin. As the sun begins to go down here in Cabo. See if Chris decides to bet again. Queen high. Ivy, the gut shot.
Oh, and it does come right home,
Bingo.
Poppy. 7, 8, 9, 10 jack for Mr. Ivy. Unfortunately for him, Kruk fairly empty.
Rough start there for Phil Ivey, losing that big pot, obviously.
Yeah, he's clawed back to under 2-1. It was really dire for a second. So
blinds go up every 9 hands. We'll be up at 501K very shortly. Chat's fired up right now. Purple Melon, Man Illusion, my man, Man Illusion. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you here. Stephen Bays, as always. Three
3x
here.
now from Ivy.
Go first 3x. We're like, oh, 3x. Oh my god. Little coordination here.
You know,
both
one
hands.
thing with Ivy, guys, like some of these early bluffs that he'll make in each respective match, I do think is a bit of advertising, for lack of a better. He's good at that. You know, he'll send you one way, but then it's the other way kind of thing. Very tricky, mix it up kind of guy. I've been in there with him. It's strange. Queen high here for Kruk, let's see. Probably content to just check.
Ivy gonna no, just gives it up, checks it
Ivy
back.
kinda
Sometimes you
just-
got to do it.
Fights another day.
Currently listening to the Mandarin broadcast. If any of y'all speak Mandarin, you want to check out the Mandarin broadcast. This is being commented in Mandarin as well too.
Worldwide, Joey.
I know. Listen, this event is worldwide right now. Pretty sure it's kind of late over in Asia right now, though. You know any Mandarin, Poppy, or what?
No, I don't. I
No?
mean, you know.
Yeah. Maybe you
6
do.
of spades, 9 of clubs here for Phil. He peels. Interesting.
Ambitious, but
Maybe quite nice, actually.
yeah.
Against that small
Something of a
size.
straight draw.
Probably just for choice. And Kruk here with just the jack high and the 8 of spades. Beautiful execution there, coming with the kind of small bet. Recognizing a nice bluff spot and getting it done. Just north of 2-1 right now for Kruk to move into the finals, guys. Rubber match here, 1-1. Best of 3. Winner of this one takes it. Deuces on the button, 7-9 off for Ivy. Should be seeing a flop here. 2.2x. And Kruk.
Monaco says Ivy doesn't need a pile solver. He has a solver. Well, we've already established. Uh-oh, 3-bet.
Interesting. We have
Didn't see that coming. 7-9 offsuit.
and a kind of nice spot for Kruk to just call and hope. Not the worst flop for Chris, but naturally not the best one either. Let's see what Ivy does here after 3-betting. Comes with half pot, just north,
It's probably not going to go anywhere here.
south, just south rather. And I agree, Joey. Oh wow, a kind of informational sort of.
He raises.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Ivy doesn't look like he wants to go anywhere here. It's got 9 high.
It's just 9 high, guys.
The Will
9 of
pursuit.
hearts, 7 of diamonds. Oh my God, Joey! Bang bang! I mean, that was, guys. Bravo, Phil. That was beautiful. I mean, bravo.
What was that? Yo, this guy, I love
End of the day,
I can watch
you were-
Ivy play all day long. I'm loving that. Wow.
wow, what a play. Certainly did not. That was not even on, I would say, both of our radars. So,
I got to
I
put
mean,
the
there
Norman
you
Hold'em
go,
hat on after
guys.
that one. I mean,
Yeah,
my
for
God, what was
sure.
that? That was crazy. Phil Ivey, 3-bet the 7-9 offsuit. Bet gets raised, re-raises, no 7, no 9, 10, 5, 3.
3 bets, 9-7 off, 10-5-3, goes half pot, gets 2.2'd, and just dumps the whole stack of Chino in there. That was strong. I wonder what compelled him to do that. You know, he's obviously a genius and one of the best ever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was something about Chris's size or the speed of the raise. Perhaps there was some. It's just hard to say. But again, bravo. Off we go, neck and neck now. 100 big blinds apiece, guys. This is a really good one. 5-7 suited can 3-bet, can call, goes with the former.
So excited for the chat to see that hand. I just know.
Oh my God.
I'm so happy. I'm so hyped for when they comment. Here we go. Lock in. A big pot brewing.
Top pair
3-bet.
king kicker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Open-ended with clubs for Ivy.
Ivy gonna go for a check raise here, Nick.
Certainly could. I mean, this hand can play for all of the chips. 90 effective is a lot of bigs. Just the 7, 8, 9, 10 draw, not the bigger one, but still.
Here we go. 7-5, 3-bet pre-flop. Flush draw, straight draw, top pair, king kicker for Chris. Phil just calls.
All very reasonable.
Might slow down the action a little bit. Ace of diamonds on the turn. Phil, let me check calling. Maybe hand like ace queen. Maybe some ace jack.
Hands with a king is strong, but Chris has to fear the semi-bluff check raises on turn. And he does check. And it comes right in, guys. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for Ivy. Let's see if he bets what size he goes with and then take it from there. He comes with check. Chris will be happy to do the same. This one will go Ivy's way.
Ivy's going to take the lead just like that. Nick Schulman. 115-85. Phil Ivey trying to move on. The chat's fired up right now. They don't even know what they just saw with the 7-9 hand. Let's go. Aces for Mr. Ivey. The chat is moving hard right now. Let's go.
We're seeing the goat emoji in the chat. That's about all that should be in there when you see that hand. King 9, a little bit annoying, but I think we're in. We fight.
Yeah. Phil
Ivy laying a little rope here. Very nice. And it does come home. Probably only one street goes in, but nonetheless, had he bet, in all likelihood, king 9 out of there. Now we see the power of the check this particular time. And Kruk would be over betting. This will get relatively snapped. It's going Ivy's way right now, guys. Just south of 2-1. Of course, lots can happen, but we're here for it.
Wow. Phil Ivey coming back strong right now. 130-70. Looking to take this to the finals. Look at Phil Ivey, a little smirk on his face right now. He's fired up. You can see it in his little emotion from Phil Ivey. The most emotion we've seen him make. I mean, listen, anytime you make a move with 7-9 offsuit, come on, you got to get.
Of course.
You know that don't make you 15 poker. I don't know what's gonna make you poker hard out there, guys. Come on. Wow, what a play right there from Phil Ivey. I mean,
bottom pair for Kruk. Nice one for Phil. Got shot, got the club.
Phil Ivey optimal.
Comes with half pot.
Wow.
Phil Ivey optimal. PO.
PO, right. Baby. Do not try that at home, my
poker
friends.
hard over here.
15, baby. Uh-oh. Ivey. Good turn card from the bet. Gutter.
Much so. He agrees with you, Poppy. He comes with half pot. And for Chris with the bottom pair now, let's see. Half pot fairly inviting, but still just sevens, and he is out.
Down.
Officially a 2-1 lead for Ivy right now. Match 3. Move on to the finals. Who wants it, guys?
Who wants it more here? Pocket deuces for Phil. BCS Poker Pro, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the chat, guys. You just tuned in. This is match 3, Phil Ivey versus Chris Kruk, semifinals. 32 players entered. $25,000 from each player was put into the prize pool. $800,000 total prize pool. $400,000 for first place. And Phil Ivey is somehow in the mix, man. He's ready to go to the finals here. Chip lead, blind just went up.
3 off for Ivy. Comes with the 2.5x size that he seems to gravitate towards, and a really nice one for Crook, Jack 9 suited. 4X's, that should do it. Every pot so key. 3-6 off, let's defer. Cuspy. He's out.
They called goat avatar goat chats on Twitch, and we did a few goats in there going on. The goat emojis.
Food on the loose right now down in Mexico. Man. They might have to call the Agriculture Commission or King high here for Ivy. Just tap. Comes a third, and for Crook, I think we have a call. Usually, maybe, probably that's about it. And let's see, King 6 of spades here. Does Ivy want to keep applying pressure, or does he not?
He's been having some pressure in these kind of spots so far today. Checks it back though. Oh, great river for Phil.
Chickens do come home to roost, Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Good size Ivy goes with here.
Comes with that very kind of annoying computery half pot. That's a hard size to deal with, frankly. You can put a lot of hands into those sorts of sizes, and Crook keeps it honest with the A7. So we see the power of the kind of friendly bet, for lack of a better. And just like that, Ivy has over a 2-1 chip lead to get to the finals. 25K WPT Heads Up Championship, Poppy.
Go. Chris, not going to give it up easy though, Nick.
Of course not. Plays all stacked ups well too, so going to be a fight to the bitter end, but great start for Ivy here in the rubber match.
I am Groot says Joey, nervous energy, Ingram. I mean, listen, you know.
A&E, I mean,
I'm a little nervous here, yeah. J&E energy, okay.
Gotta be nervous here. It's the rubber match to get into the finals, guys. 10s for Crook, 5 deuce off for Ivy. Let's see, 5 deuce. He opens it up.
Not afraid. Pocket 10s for Chris. Just one of those hands he ever thinks about just shipping in. No.
Do that earlier with that ace 10 off, I believe, but 10-10 maybe a little too good.
Makes sense, yeah. Young Jerome is indeed here, my friends. So you can see the contrast in opening styles. Chris is going for a little smaller raise. Phil sticking with his customary 2.5, working in a limp on occasion.
Crook takes the free one. Nice turn for him. Makes a pair now. And Ivy kind of with the see where he's at. Ace high. So sticky, pesky, annoying. Ivy style kind of just keeps jabbing at you and so on.
See, Ivy bluff a couple spots like this where he had no, I mean, just doesn't really have showdown here.
Doesn't really have any showdown. I suppose he beats the red 8-10 every once in a while, and we want it to check. And he comes with full pot, and there we go.
So Chris gets a little one back on his side.
Joey.
Think about that bet on that river from Phil. Pot size, ace 5.
I think river's logical. Turn I didn't gravitate towards turn, but the ace and the low card sometimes actually does do things on the middle E. The totally disconnected. Some of these bluffs are sound. 4-8 suited. Let's see. Bit of space between the 4 and the 8, but a suited connector in the button nonetheless. He does peel, Joey.
Here we go. Whole bunch of nothing. Backdoor straight draw, flush draw for Phil. Chris, Jack 10 and the initiative.
That's interesting. He comes with 30% for Phil. I do believe we have a call.
Make a move here.
I think we just peel. We don't really want to raise and get re-raised off our equity. And now see what Crook does here with Jack 10 of diamonds. Probably would just give up, but he does block some Queen X. It's interesting.
Queen Jack, Queen 10.
And he doesn't have a 6 or a 7, so he kind of unblocks these sort of maybe straight draws. And this is quite spice, guys, to collect at home.
Yeah, and he plays this one, picks up the flush draw on the turn. He just calls.
Oh, and it does come in, Joey. It does come in, and of course Crook is at the bottom of his range, although blue cards on this He doesn't
Lock
have
in.
he doesn't have any clubs. I mean, I could certainly see him bluffing here, Poppy. Wow. He does do it. Phil Ivey's going to the finals, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Rivers the flush. Good thumbs up.
Good game there, friends.
Wow.
Welcome back, everyone, to the WPT Heads Up Championship presented by Poker King. It started out with 32 players, everyone putting in $25,000, and we are down to just 2 players. You may recognize these names. We have Patrik Antonius versus Phil Ivey. Both these guys had to get through a ridiculously tough bracket, including some of the best online players in the world, including people who were heads-up specialists for their whole careers, and they came out on top. So we have a battle today of OG versus OG in the poker world. It should be so exciting. Some of the people that they beat along the way, Sam Greenwood fell to Patrik Antonius last night, taking home $100,000. Stephen Chidwick, one of the best players in the world in many formats, fell to Ivey last night, also taking home $100,000. You see the bracket right here. You have Sam Greenwood versus Patrik Antonius. Patrik Antonius got through. Excuse me, Chris Kruk took home $100,000, not Chidwick. Chidwick fell to Phil Ivey in the money round, right, and he ended up bubbling the tournament. So you see how they got there. The path was not easy for any of these players. We saw our influencers fall in the beginning, except Alex Botez, chess champion, a huge streaming legend, actually won her first match and lost to Sam Greenwood next. But people said she put up a good fight, gave herself a chance to win, and there's no shame in losing to Sam Greenwood. Here are the payouts. Extremely top-heavy payouts. Half of the prize pool is going to first place, $400,000. Second is $200,000. So essentially, they're playing a best of 5 heads-up sit and go for $200K. So no small money on the line here. Doug Polk will be joining me in the booth momentarily, and later you're going to get a treat. It's going to be Nick Schulman commentating with Poppy, Joey, Ingram. Before Doug gets here, I would like to engage more in the chat. I have my Twitch chat open, so if you guys have any questions or any comments, you can let us know who you think is going to win this match. I'll definitely answer some of your questions. Patrik Antonius, high-stakes poker legend, won a $1.3 million pot against Isildur. We have Phil Ivey, who's a Poker King ambassador, Poker Hall of Fame member, WPT Champions Club member, and his first 8 WPT cashes were all final tables. That seems ridiculous. It is so hard to make a final table, especially the WPT, and to go 8 for 8 is just absurd. People in chat said, feels like 2010 again with Patrik versus Phil. I mean, yeah, that is crazy. So yeah, without further ado, we can get to this match and start calling the action. We're going to have a slightly different structure this time. It's best of 5 instead of best of 3, and they're going to have 11 hands per level instead of just 7. So there's going to be a lot more play today. This could go really long, depending on, you know, there's a lot of variance in this, but who takes the first match? Can we open the tables for betting on this match? Eventually we may.
Feels good. As I said before, Cabo is one of my favorite places, so to come and be able to play poker here in this environment, this is as good as it gets. Yeah, you know, I love the ocean. You know, I love to go out and walk along the sand sometimes, prepare myself. Yesterday's matches, I played Stephen Chidwick and Chris Kruk, and very intense. Stephen Chidwick is very intense and very tough opponent, same as Chris. Chris bluffs quite a bit, and I was able to get fortunate enough to hit a flush on the last card. I'll see who won that pot. So, you know, it's a very fine line between, you know, things working and things not in poker. I think, yeah, he check raised me on the flop and I ended up moving all in. I just really didn't think he had nothing. I mean, it was for my tournament life. I decided to take a shot and luckily it worked out. I mean, you know, he could have easily had a hand and it wouldn't have worked out. You know, sometimes it does. I mean, it's just really a hand. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do random stuff like that sometimes, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, I don't really put too much into it when it works, because, you know, there are times when it doesn't. So, you know, the same people that are praising you are the same people that are making fun of it too. So. Yeah, me and Patrick go way back. We have a lot of gambling experience with each other. You know, we gambled a lot on the golf course, and a lot of Chinese poker, a lot of poker back in the full tilt days, and I'm looking forward to this match. It has been a while since I played with him. A couple of years maybe. Yeah. You know, I took a lot of time off from poker. I was kind of once in a while popping in there, but really I took a lot of time off. So it'd be interesting to see what changes he made in his game. I don't know. I mean, I kind of go, you know, again, I haven't watched one hand of anybody this whole tournament. I kind of like to go on with a kind of open mind to kind of figure it out as I go and see what he's doing. And hopefully I'll be able to make some adjustments and win a few all-ins.
Good luck.
Get right into it. And it's got word that Doug Polk is on his way. 2.5x from Antonius on the button. Phil starting out with a good hand, ace-7 suited. Just a call. Antonius flopping the best of it, second pair. Phil Ivey with the backdoor nut flush draw and bottom pair. Looks like enough to make a call. Nothing exciting on the turn. Check from Phil Ivey. Antonius elects to check back his second pair. Oh, baby. Right off the bat, Ivey running pretty good. Rivering trips. Makes a value bet and gets called. First blood is going to go to Phil Ivey. Two and a half X on the button with ace-4 off. Very defendable hand in Antonius with queen-7 suited. Makes the call. Checks to Ivey, whose hand has some potential with the ace of spades. Makes a really small bet. Interested to see what Antonius does here. A lot of turn cards could make his hand kind of fun. He's got some backdoor flush outs and also straight draws. Flex fold. Two and a half X on the button from Antonius, ace-7 off, and a call for Phil Ivey. Nice flop for Phil, flopping the jack high flush draw. Also some backdoor straight outs. Antonius checks back his ace high. Phil's gonna lead now for half pot. Wouldn't be surprised if Antonius calls with his ace high. He does. Queen of Hearts river. It's nice for Phil to have the jack in his hand if he wants to represent straight. Be a pretty reasonable call for Antonius if he wants to call with his ace high here. Lots of draws missed. He does make the fold. Not having a spade in his hand probably made that a little bit easier to fold. So Ivey's racing the 8-4 off, 2.5 X on the button. Interested to see if he has a folding range from there. And Antonius makes the call with queen deuce suited. Flopping bottom pair, backdoor flush draw. What's up, guys? Doug Polk here.
How's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Soon, I think.
Nice.
There we go.
I'm in the booth. How's it going so far, Jamie?
Going great. We've only seen 5 or 6 hands, I think. But I'm a little bummed out because I came with the tank top today trying to match my commentary partner, and you have
Oh.
sleeves somehow.
I wore sleeves to impress the stream and really impress you, Jamie. I didn't want to leave you hanging, so
Oh, thanks.
we did a little role reversal here today. All right,
My
so
first part, let's
uh,
go. I might have to start talking today because it's too quiet here.
I would like that.
perfect start to the session. It's good to see that at least my chips did not go to waste and that Antonius parlayed that into a finals appearance.
Because, yeah, you care about stuff like that.
Yeah. I didn't really believe it either. I'm gonna make this, can I make this bigger or does it have to be this
Yep.
size?
I think that was the one Joey used, and he has his chat super big and the
Oh.
table very small.
I see. Yeah, you gotta keep your focus on the chat.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see what we're working with today. I believe the structure a little bit slower today is best of 5, so
And 11 hands per level.
okay, cool. So a lot of play.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting to see what we have going. Looks like we have a 2.5x strategy in the button from Antonius. Ivy electing to call the Jack 8 suited.
10-8 deuce flop. Middle pair for both people.
Yeah, I think with the middle pair here in Antonius's shoes, you mainly look to check, but you can put out some bets. He does a pretty big bet. I don't love that with this hand. If you get check raised, you're in a bad spot. It's just a bit too big of a bet, I think.
Ivy now with 2 pair. Antonius picking up a gutter ball.
Great card for Ivy, moves into the lead, of course, when you have same pair and just the kicker difference. Pretty hard to improve to win, but he actually does move ahead here. And Antonius with a very questionable bet here. I don't entirely know what the goal is. Yeah, I don't know, Jamie,
Yeah, I can't read his mind either.
but I didn't make the finals, so what can I say? Just a
True.
mere mortal.
Yeah, if you lose one match, you can no longer talk about heads up again.
And
Rule.
Antonius is not snap checking. What is going on?
Considering a value bet?
That was a weird hand. I mean, Ivy played his hand totally fine. You can consider a pre-flop 3-bet. But I like the play. Antonius a little thin on the flop for that big size. Not the worst, but a little thin. And then once he bets the turn, I think we've kind of. What's Ivy's?
The picture is like, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. That was happening a little bit yesterday too. Deku says, Doug, I'm retired from poker and poker content Polk.
Hmm?
Mhm.
Be fair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's accurate. Actually, I just realized I had one event planned for the rest of the year, and I just got moved to dates I can't do, so I have no more poker the rest
No
of the year
more
planned.
poker the rest of the year? 6 whole months of no poker?
Yeah, unless Brandon is trying to help me out, crypto's down, it'd be nice for him to stop by, but barring something unforeseen, I think
Oh yeah, I wanted to say thank you for taking a break from Twitter to do this with us. It's
No
very nice
problem.
of you.
no problem. I have my phone on vibrate in case Bryn
Just in case-
tweets, so I can, of course.
In case he's like, I would like to play your heads up right now. You just leave the booth and you fly away.
Right, I
Yeah.
just fly,
Mhm.
just spread my wings. Okay, Queen 10 for Ivy. I expect we're going to see a 2.5x. It seems to be what the standard is going to be today. Ooh. Oh, sorry, the blinds went up.
Yeah.
Okay. Ace 10 for Antonius. You could elect to 3-bet. Just calling, of course, is fine. As the stack's a little shorter like this compared to 100 big blinds, it's a bit more awkward to 3-bet Ace 10, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ace 10 still do some 3-betting. On Jack 7-3 Rainbow, Ivy is going to want to bet a lot of hands, and I like his size, going for a bit of a smaller size here. Queen 10's the kind of hand that doesn't mind checking and playing some turns and rivers, but betting denies some equity makes sense too.
Ace on the turn puts Antonius way ahead now.
Yeah, great turn for Antonius, and it's kind of interesting when Ivy bets this small on the flop, Antonius is going to have more aces than normal, so it's not quite as good of a card. But Ivy's hand is very nice to barrel. He has a spade, so he blocks flush draws. He's got a gutter to the nuts. it's unlikely that Antonius has too many ace X's on the flop. And then also, of course, a lot of the sets Antonius can't even have.
But as we see here, Antonius says way the best of it. He has ace 10. He's going to check call.
Well, Ivy's going to have a bit of a tough spot. I think he's probably going to lean towards a check. Having the spade, it was good in the turn, bad in the river. You block some of those flush draw hands that would fold. And we see a nice check back here from Ivy on the river. Couple pretty solid hands right out of the gate for Ivy. Kind of like how he's playing. I don't think Antonius did anything too poorly there either. Only thing we give up, you could maybe go for 3-bet, but I like it. Good hand from both.
Ace 5 off on the button from Phil Ivey. 2.5x.
And with King 4, it's the kind of hand you mainly want to call. Every now and then, I think getting in there for the 3-bet looks good. Those offsuit kings do like denying some equity, but fighting the preferred play, and he does make the call.
8, 7, 3, 2 spades. Not much for either player. And Ivy elects to, what is that? 1/3 pot? Math is hard.
Yeah,
A little
math
more.
is hard. I agree with you. I think it was something around 1/3 pot.
Okay.
You know, that's another spot where I think on boards like 8, 7, 3, I think typically speaking, solver outputs prefer very large sizes. In fact, that's board's actually one of the ones they like the largest other than Broadway. So I don't love the small size. And I think ace 5 typically is going to prefer to just check anyway. So we might be getting a little taste of kind of what's to come in this match. Might be a little bit more high c-betting frequency style than maybe we would see online. But that does make sense. The stacks get shallower, so could be that he's just planning on having this kind of throughout the whole match.
Nice hand on the button from Antonius. Ace 5 suited. Makes it 2.5x. Phil Ivey with a very defendable 10-9 off.
Yeah, I mean 10-9 is the kind of hand. It's going to be a mixed 3-bet pre. Interestingly, 10-9 suited, you actually flat a good amount of the time. They're pretty similar. Even though 10-9 suit's much better, you don't want to get 4-bet. 10-9 off, you don't mind if you get 4-bet. You can just lay it down. I'm on turn flops. You like small size. I like what Antonius is doing here. He's going for a 1/3 pot size, roughly. I think it's 30% size. And Ivy goes for the check raise. I think check raise sizes are preferred to go small. And if you're going to go with a bigger one, you kind of need to have something better than just a shitty gut shot. So aggro from Ivy, but that's kind of what I expected to see today after I saw that just gangster 9-7 hand.
Off. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's on Joey Ingram's Twitter. I think he's at PoppyGTO or at Joe Ingram, something like that. Crazy hand.
Let me retweet the stream real quick just to let people know that there's
I think I have to do the same. I'll just retweet yours very lazily.
Keeping it pretty professional around here. I show up late. We haven't tweeted stuff.
Move a raise from Ivy with Queen 9 off and a defend with Jack 7 off. Jack 9 5, a little bit for each player.
Yeah, action flop. Another spot where Ivy could definitely consider going for a check. I do like checking this hand. You know, with the small size, it's a bit better than that bet from Patrik earlier, where he had a similar spot. But I still think checking as a hand you could consider. Jack 9-5 actually has a high bet frequency though, in terms of being of what's optimal. So seems totally fine. Check off Patrick's 10 the turn. I like Ivy's check back pot controlling. He's basically playing this how I kind of wanted Pat to play the other one. Very similar spot. And it should work out for him where he's only going to lose 1 bet. No reason to bet ever.
Queen 5 off for Antonius and a fold from Ivy. We have a 2.5x again. Ivy defend from Antonius with Jack 8 off. Jack 9 deuce.
A lot of top pairs today, Jamie. Top pairs hot.
Yes.
Hot. Unlike my crypto portfolio, those are hot.
I do miss poker when it was like get to the table and it'd be like a lot of 8s have been hitting today, and I'm like, thank you, sir.
I still hear that.
You do.
And I wonder if it's
You game
tongue in
select
cheek.
pretty well though.
Yeah, right. Okay, so once again, am I just watching the same hand over and
It
over
feels
again?
like
I
it.
feel like this just is the same spot. But anyway, another jack high board, another top pair. Ivy C betting again for the small size, but Jack 9 deuce rainbow likes high frequency C bet, so don't mind Ivy's play. But I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna see many checks, and I think that part of the reason Ivy might be aggressively going. Yeah, I didn't think I would start call. Maybe should have talked about that. But anyway, whatever. Plenty of hands to talk about today, Jamie. No shortage of those. Why did I get off track there? Not my finest commentary.
Saying high frequency C bets, something or other, Jack 9 deuce. You can do it.
Yep, exactly. I'm with you. Okay, this time no one has anything. Open call, 6-5 for Antonius, goes for the small bet.
Seems good, right? On ace high paired boards. Tiny bet seems kind of good on ace high paired
Yeah.
boards.
I don't hate the idea of some occasional calls and some occasional raises from Ivy there, but you should mainly fold, so it does seem good. One thing I found though is on those paired boards, players tend to not be aggressive enough and don't do some low frequency bluffs that you're gonna need. Big hand here, pre-flop, finally.
Raise with ace king off and a call from Ivy with 8-7. Ivy flops the gutter ball, but ace king is best with a pair of kings.
Interesting spot here. Antonius is gonna bet. The question is gonna be, how does Ivy want to play it? Does he want to go for the call and try and maintain some showdown value just in case he hits an 8 or a 7? Or does he want to go for the check raise?
Ivy elects to call and an ace on the turn, putting a second flush draw out there, top 2 for Antonius.
Yeah, obviously Antonius moves strongly into the lead here. Ivy only gonna win this in reverse 6, and he's not gonna get the chance to, I don't think. Not a good spot to be conservative if Antonius should choose 2 flushes out there, obviously straight draws. Makes a little more sense to, drive some value. Does that pot? I like the size. I think it's a good spot to go big. You have a lot of hands that want some value. And really, Ivy, not much he can do there. Although you say that, maybe he puts in the min raise. I don't know, Jamie.
You really never
I
know.
just don't know.
That has to be really funny to watch some of the hands leading up to this match. Because you're just like,
Yeah.
how can you explain them? You can't. I've watched them a zillion times. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
You're taking notes. You put, okay. Willing to jam nothing versus
Yes.
raises.
Yes.
Cool note.
Cool.
Yeah, put that in your back pocket. That's gonna go really
If I'm
well.
playing him online, I would just have the note that says like WUT. You're just like, what?
It just says what?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good note there
Helpful,
too.
very helpful.
All right, so Antonius, I believe this went check, check, flop, bet turn. I like this bet. Seems good. Ivy's obviously calling, and this is an action killing card. Going to be hard for Patrik to extract too much value. Obviously, flushes get in, straights get in. Does have a spade. Not. It's just it just has to check, and then I don't see any reason for Ivy to turn such a strong hand into a bluff. So, and that's seriously why I'm in the booth. They leave the playing to the professionals. I think this is a value bluff. Oh my god, it's amazing! Wow! Whoa! Whoa.
This is so funny because I was just reading a note from production that says, please remind Doug to mind the volume.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. We're going to have poker in the library.
Sorry guys, if I'm blasting it. Need to be more quiet like Joe Ingram.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Poor Ivy if he thinks this is loud.
Okay, so anyway, that was a wild hand. I don't think you can go big on the river there. Antonius just shoes. Too many hands beat you. You can have flushes, you can have straight, you can have trips. I just think you have to check. And in Ivy's shoes, I think you're supposed to do a lot of folding. Probably call every once in a while, but he can have straights. He can have trips. It's fair to have 7 with a spade. Fair to have a 7 that blocks straights. 7, 9 or something.
Is this a hand that you would be limping on the button at this stack depth, or would you be trying to get some chips in the pot?
I think I would be raising.
So Antonius does limp. Phil checks. Antonius flops the gutter ball. An overcard. Phil just with the king 5 of diamonds. He's got backdoor diamonds.
I think I actually like this fold from Ivy.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, because when it's a limp pot, you can't bet under half pot. Antonius bet 60%.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a traditional raise call, I think Ivy has to float, but I think you get to play a little bit more conservative when the bet is so big in relation to the pot.
Mm-hmm. Jack 8 deuce, not much for either player. Antonius is going to bet his 10-6 off. Is he just thinking about all the turn cards he could barrel through? Some straighty cards.
Yeah, there are some straighty cards.
You don't like that bet. Is what I'm picking up
What
on.
the action pre? Was it just raise call
I think so.
that he led?
We need a hand replayer.
Yeah.
For when we're still talking about the last hand.
That's a weird hand.
Ace 3 off on the button for Ivy. It's gonna
What a match, by the way.
2.5x. Antonius calls what? What a match what?
This match. How is it
This is
Antonius Ivy?
absurd. This is the
How
crazy.
is it Antonius
We
Ivy in
have
the
Dwan
finals? So,
wandering into the booth.
how is this the finals?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Tom? This is just ridiculous. We have Antonius, Phil Ivey, and Tom Dwan. Like, what year is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. How's your Chinese? Terrible. Oh, nice. That's even better. Perfect.
Have fun. I don't know
It
if
is.
you
It is a
guys
question.
could.
What year is it?
It's first game right now.
First game just
Yeah,
started.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys could pick up on the audio there, but Tom Dwan's gonna go fire up the Chinese stream. He's gonna go commentate, and we said, "How's your Chinese?" And he said, "Terrible." So he doesn't speak Mandarin. Should be interesting.
Nice.
I wonder if Schwann's in there translating, or if they just are like happy to see Tom Dwan's face.
He's got a pretty reasonable size following in Asia, Jamie.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Yeah.
Just a hunch. But like I was saying before, this is just such a big name finals between, and no offense to the online guys, they're great, but I think this is kind of what the fans want to see.
This is amazing. All right. So we used to put together the hand videos, the
Sorry,
Polker hands.
not to cut you off.
After this.
Not to cut you off, Jamie. Interesting spot here. Ivy going for pretty big butt with top pair. Antonius is a very reasonable bluff catcher. It's nice to have a king in Antonius' shoes because you don't block bluffs and you do block value. So both of his cards are actually good here. You should really mainly be calling this hand. It's a nice bluff catcher. I didn't see the exact action because I was distracted thinking of years of past, but there we go. He does make the
I
call.
don't think that one's our fault when Tom Dwan just saunters into the room. It's like,
Yeah,
what's
what
up,
are you gonna
guys? What I was gonna say though is when we used to make poker hands, this is the type of matchup that you would want. You'd be like big names, big pots, big prizes. You'd literally have every hand for this match.
I might even need to do a poker hands on that 9-7
Yep.
hand.
Do it.
Although I don't know what I would say. Hey guys, I don't know what happened here. That's it. Thanks for what's up, guys?
You
Doug
should
Polk
just
here.
ask Phil. Like,
Not
"Phil?"
sure what happened on that one. I'll see you
Yeah,
again next week.
Yeah. Cool. People would still love it. They'd be like, he's back. Got a raise from Ivy with Jack 7 off. Beats it down.
Getting a little bit more shallow now. Blinds are escalating. Still
Raise from Antonius, King Deuce off on the button.
kind of a big raise, 2.5x on this stack. I think I'd like to see him go a bit smaller. Ivy,
Looks like he's up to no good.
it does.
And he is. 3 bets to 14,500 with his Jack 7 suited and gets through.
It's tough because Antonius can't really afford up jamming. So he's gonna have to commit a lot versus that.
Mhm.
And he still makes it a size where he doesn't get some reasonable direct odds. So I think that was nice sizing from Ivy and a pretty reasonable hand to select. You don't want to 3-bet hands like Jack 9 suited, Jack 8 suited, because then if they jam, you're unclear what to do. Jack 7 suited, you can fold. And then Jack 10 suited, for example, you can just call it off because you're gonna get odds versus a bunch of hands that should be jamming.
So Ivy raises the button with a very dusty 4-3 offsuit.
Dusty.
Antonius calls 8-5-3 a little bit for each player, with Antonius getting the best of it top pair and Phil having bottom pair. Turn card's kind of fun too. 7 of
Yeah.
spades putting the straight draw out there for both players.
Interesting one. Again, a hand that Ivy could choose to check the flop with. Betting's not bad. None of these bets have been bad. But we're just seeing a real commitment towards betting it probably a little too high of a frequency. And then Antonius' shoes, I think check call is the play. You check raise, you make the spot way too big for your hand strength. I think check call looks good. Turn standard from both, and now on the river, Antonius could maybe go for a small bet. He does go for half pot. I think I'd like a more like a 1/3 pot bet on the river here if you're gonna bet. I think this is a bit big. Ivy,
That's so interesting because I was thinking there's a chance that Antonius is betting that size to avoid situations like this. If you put out the obviously blocker size bet, that block betting could lead to this. But then he chose a reasonably large size and it still led to this.
he just has to fold. He doesn't have a heart. I think
Right.
Ivy doesn't have a heart. Maybe they both have heart here. I don't know. But I just don't think he can call. He's got no heart. 6 isn't very relevant.
What
What do
what do you
have?
think of Ivy's hand selection here?
Just take.
Just takes. Man,
Ivy's not here to chat.
no. What do you think of the 3-4 off in that spot?
Well, I
To turn
think
that into a bluff.
it was probably too aggressive pre-flop. I think the flop was fine, turn was fine, and then the river he should just fold. I think if you want to make a raise in the river, it's fine to use a 3, but you can just find 3s that have a heart.
Mhm.
So, I think especially versus the bigger size, I don't see a reason. You just need a heart, basically.
Do you think it just means he's going to be bluffing way too much if he's choosing that hand?
Definitely.
So this is just a single raise pot and a defend from Phil Ivey. Bottom pair for Antonia. Now we got is that a double gutter? My favorite hand in poker
Double gutter,
for
yep.
Ivy.
And we're seeing the 4-3 is hot today, Jamie.
4-3
It's hot.
so
Oh,
hot.
do these
Look.
guys? Honestly, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's playing the 4-3 in almost the exact same way Ivy just did. Getting the weird bottom pair raise in. Oh, this one's on the turn. Oh, tough spot for Ivy. Ivy could jam.
I was gonna say it felt like Ivy's gonna stuff,
Ooh.
but he chooses not to.
Ooh. Oh, come on.
River's the best of it though. It's a pair of 9s.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah. What's Antonius do here? Does he
Prob-
just hope for his showdown value to be good, or is he going to turn his hand to a bluff?
Probably check, but Jamie, I don't know anymore. Okay. It checks. I like it. Turn raise. So when you check back the flop and they probe and you raise, that's a weird line.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to do it that much. But it does happen. It happens probably something in the realm of 4 to 8%, depending on the board. Maybe even lower on some boards specifically, but typically it's in that range. So I don't hate that line with 3, as long as you're mainly calling. I don't know if you can just call and I have issues there though. I think you have to re-raise or fold.
So we use single raise pot, Ivy flopping top and bottom. Antonius with nothing makes the
It's just some medium hands getting in there, you know? Look at this. This should be bet 3 bet call, I imagine.
It's a 3-4-0, man. I'm gonna have to study it. Maybe the solver sold them. 3-4-0 is your egg. What's happening?
Just saying words,
I
Jerry.
know it was supposed to be a joke, but I was like, this is too ridiculous. Why am I saying these words?
It just turned into a story about bad cards. Not the kind of story you want to be telling.
Yeah. Anyway, Antonius with ace-8 off, 27 big blind. Stack starts to limp.
Okay.
Ivy
And
with 9s. We seen a 4x here. Yes.
Antonio should limp jam. It's a clear limp jam. He actually played this well. He did this versus me when we played, and I thought it was pretty nice. I don't know what hand he had. If it was 4-3 off, I take it back. But limp
He
jam is
does make the
correct here.
jam. Ivy makes the call. He's gonna win 70% of the time. Let's see what
He needs
happens.
an ace. Antonius needs an ace. Ace only.
Oof.
No ace.
First match goes Phil Ivy's way. We are playing a best out of 5 though. So, it's still anyone's game, but man, Phil Ivey the GOAT. What do you got to say about this first match?
Well, I saw some kind of things to take away. I think players playing very aggressive on the flop. Players playing very aggressive pre-flop. Players are playing very aggressive on the river. Turn though, turn seems pretty reasonable, except it was also aggressive. So it looks like they both want to win. They're both
Yes.
fighting for pots. That's good. Most players make the mistake of not fighting enough.
Mm-hmm.
I like what we're seeing so far.
And we were trying to predict yesterday how long we thought these matches would take. And other games, there's a lot more limping, a lot of passive play, and people all agreed that just from seeing the games before this, that this was probably going to be faster than the other ones. We got people
I could
being
definitely see
aggressive.
that. I mean, some of these hands were wild. The Ivy River raised with 4-3. There's another really loose hand in there somewhere too. The Antonius double barrel with the 8. Just a lot of aggressive stuff so far.
So we're going to probably see more of that. But right now we're going to take a break. Check out this Patrik Antonius interview in the meantime, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
See you there.
Yeah, feeling good. Looking forward for the finals. Yeah, yesterday was a very tough day for me. I was playing very poorly in my first match yesterday, and I was very lucky to make a comeback on that. And then I raised my level and played much better from there on. But yeah, emotionally it wasn't easy. My opponent was late, so the match was delayed for hours, and I took a little nap, and then I was kind of out of it to start the match. So I was really slow to get going. Yeah, with Sam, the match was more like a smooth ride for me. Like the first one was pretty fast, and it came down to one bigger hand where I had the best hand, top pair against his middle pair, and the second match against Sam was more like up and down, a lot of all-ins at the end of the match and turnarounds, but needed a little bit of luck there. Yeah, today is a new day, new opponent, as tough as you can get. I'm excited. It's been a long time since we played for big stakes together, and obviously we have a really long history playing a lot of big games, big pots against each other, and I expect a really different kind of match than the other ones that have been happening, and the structure is also slow, so you will see a lot of more playing than all-ins. I would have to say that Phil is probably up lifetime against me, but it's hard to say. Nothing has been tracked, so it's just what I have in my mind.
guys, and welcome back to the WPT Heads Up Championship. 25K buy-in, 32-player field. We are whittled down to 2 people you may have heard of before. We got Phil Ivey and Patrik Antonius.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say us.
They may have heard of us too, but I don't know. I got Doug Polk in the booth with me today, which is awesome. We just saw Ivey take down the first game. It's best of 5, and he got the early lead. What are your thoughts on this first match?
Well, I think, we were saying a bit about it before the break. I think that they're both playing pretty aggressive. I think that we definitely could see a little treat of some vintage Phil Ivey moves. We saw some.
Yes.
We saw them there. We saw them the other day. Anything can happen.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
excited. Some hand
We saw
histories are
that
making
really
it up.
weird bet with a 7 on 8-7-4-8-6 with a flush get there,
Mm-hmm.
and Antonius just pile drove the value. So
Ivy 2.5x with 8-5 off on the button, and Antonius is going to make the fold. So for anyone who's been watching this whole week, we extended the levels from 7 hands to 11 hands. So there's a little more play today for this championship match, since it is essentially a $200,000 heads up. That's insane when you start thinking of it, that they're playing for 200K. Whoever
Yeah.
wins this.
they are playing for 200K. My money's in there somewhere. Only
Brutal.
3/4 of my money. Good to know that it went to a couple other people as well,
Yeah.
Another small C bet Jack 8 for Antonius. Are people checking back flops, or is that a thing of the past? Because I can't tell you the last time I saw a flop check. Has a flop been checked?
I'm just trying to think right
I
now.
kind
It's
of don't
going
think
through
so.
the heads of my head. I'm like,
If it has, it was when we were just, chatting, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. Turn barrel here from Antonius. It's a little better than the Queen 8 we saw earlier where he bet third pair. Here he's much probably going to get called by something worse. Obviously, he beat other 10s, any 8, any 4. Oh, I like this move from Ivy.
Spicy with the
I-
gutter ball and overcard.
I like it. I mean, the 9 is obviously the relevant card here, right?
Oh, sorry, not a gutter ball. Open ender.
Open ender. But he blocks these strong hands, and if your opponent is thin value betting, then you got to fold. A very nice move from Ivy there. And I think the swapper would definitely be doing that some frequency, so nice. It was a nice move.
We've seen this matchup before. This is actually how the last game ended.
Oh yeah,
We have Ivy with 9s again, raises the button and gets called by Antonius with ace-8 off. Antonius outflopping him on ace-4-3.
not the best flop for Ivy. Usually you're gonna go for a small bet here anyway. A lot of hands to check call you'll be ahead of. And of course, the strong ace-x hands pre-flop and Antonius are gonna be 3-betting, so you don't love the flop, but you don't hate it either with 9s.
Jack of spades on the turn. No help for Ivy, who's looking to hit one of his 2 9s.
And I think now we're gonna see Ivy pump the brakes. Not much value to be had here.
He said, I do what I want, Doug.
Yeah, I don't love this bet, Jamie. He's gonna get a 3 to fold. He's gonna get a 4 to fold. He's gonna get an ace to call. He's gonna get a jack to call. And if they have flush draws, which he has a spade, they call, but you block that. I kind of feel we're overplaying our hand a bit. I would like to see a pot control the turn, play some rivers. He is setting his price though. He bet relatively cheap. Maybe he's trying to avoid having to call a bigger bet in the end, but I don't think that was. I think that was a little bit thin. And then from Antonius, of course, standard. Obviously, when you have top pair, you don't fold.
Yep.
That's a good safe rule to have.
Yes. So we have a raise of Jack 3 off and a 3-bet with the 6-4 suited. How do you
Nice.
like this hand selection?
I think 6-4 is going to be 3-bet low frequency. So good. Oh, queens.
Queens up button 2.5x, and Patrik Antonius with 9-8 offsuit
Oh no,
is going to
Okay.
make the call.
just calls.
He
I was
said,
getting
"Oh
scared
no."
for him.
Well, we have an oh-no situation though.
Oh look, Jamie, a jack high flop.
Yep.
We're mixing it up.
And Antonius does flop second pair, probably enough for him to continue against Phil's queens.
Yeah, this will go bet check call.
Mhm.
Standard from both.
Oh,
Oh
baby.
boy. Okay, so this is a spot where you get to lead a lot out of position.
Mhm.
middle card pairing is the best possible card for the big blind player. So you could lead small with all your hands, or you could do a bigger lead polarized. This is in between both of those, so I don't think I like it. I think I'd like to see a 15% pot has a full house, 15% pot lead, or I would like to see something a little bit bigger and more polarized. And then on the river here, obviously after Ivy calls.
Can't
Oh,
presume anything.
Antonius sets the trap. Is Ivy gonna? I think this is a check on the river actually. Yeah, Ivy's supposed to check here. But he goes for the thin value bet. And Jamie, something tells me, just a little hunch. I've played this game for a while.
Uh-huh.
Antonius thinks his full house is good and he's going to raise.
I mean, wow, Doug, you're really going out on a limb there. Wow, a big raise too.
And then
42K.
easy fold for Ivy, doesn't have a heart, has a spade. Antonius isn't playing queen 10 like this. It's not strong enough. And then it's better to have hands like a jack because then you block boats. So easy bet fold, but just too thin. You don't have a jack, sorry, you're not betting a jack.
Ivy gets the walk.
That was such a good example of this match, I think. Example of the type of stuff we've seen this match. Ivy just pile driving thin for value, into someone, looking to go for the check raise. And sometimes I think it heads up, players don't want to look weak and check back something that seems too strong. It could be that they know what we're watching. It could be that it just seems like it's a good hand. There's a bunch of things it could be, but typically speaking, when flush is complete and middle pair is paired and there are straights, overpairs are just not quite good enough. And yeah, you might sometimes have gotten check called by Jack X that has a heart, but more often you're gonna get a fold, or you're gonna get check raised, or you might even get check called by hands that beat you. So I think you're just supposed to check back that river. I'd run the sim on that one, but I feel pretty good about that.
A raise on the button from Ivy with king 4 off. Defend from Antonius, king deuce off. Queen jack 10, all diamonds, no diamond for either player.
Small bet from Ivy. Antonius gonna probably want to float this. Offsuit ace, offsuit 9, gonna be good cards for him. Anything an amazing price, so probably just gonna look to float. Both improve to the straight on a 4 flush board. So I expect this to cool off a little bit. Quick river. I think Antonius is not going to want to go too thin for value here. I think that when you have a straight in this spot, Ivy can definitely be checking back middling diamonds, low diamonds. But that's why I'm in the booth, Jamie.
And we have, if you're wondering who's lurking in the background, we got Tom Dwan just kind of lurking around. What's up? What's up, guys? Tom Dwan here.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was really thin from Antonius. It was very thin. When there's 4 diamonds out there, 1 diamond beats a straight. That's what I always thought, Can't be scared. Alright, see it. Can't be afraid.
Ivy just got a walk with pocket kings.
What is he trying to get to call him? Sets and 2 pairs. He's just gonna have mid-low diamonds though. I don't know about that one.
Pocket 10s on the button. Phil Ivey, he raises, gets 3-bet to 8150 from Patrik Antonius 6-5 offsuit. Is this a hand that's good enough to, yes, he says, yep, I 4-bet, but is there an option there or is this just a snap 4-bet? Always?
You could call a bit, but you really need to 4-bet it. And 3-bet 6-5 off from Antonius is a bit aggro, but probably okay, low freak.
Low freak.
Yeah. It's a mix, Jamie. All the options are on the table. They're pretty back. Actually, it folds.
Well, I can't believe I asked you something. You're like, no, you 4-bet this all the time. I'm like, oh my god, did you just say all the time you do something? Crazy.
Yeah, well, it was 90%, but who's counting? For the fans, they just rounded that one up.
Yeah. A raise and a call pre, and I believe we saw our first check back flop of the night. You were saying, do we ever check back?
It's a good hand check though.
We do one time.
It's one of the hands I think we saw would most like to check. King highs don't gain a lot from betting. So that is a nice play, and also good noticing that, Jamie. That might have slipped under our radar.
Ivy with ace 9 off on the button makes it 2.5x. Antonius with 9-8 off, likely to make the call.
Yeah, call looks good.
A little bit for each. We have the ace, 8-5 rainbow,
Yeah.
Ivy top pair, and Antonius with second pair.
And Antonius just better pray that this turns into 9 because he's gonna have to check call. And if the 9 comes, it's gonna get very, very expensive. And the way this match is going, people are not leaving value on the table. Ooh, that's an interesting card too. Antonius is gonna check, probably check call if he does face some kind of reasonable size bet. In Ivy's shoes, interesting spot. I think you lean a little bit more towards bet, but you're definitely gonna want to sometimes check this one back. I think in Antonius' shoes, he could definitely consider going for a check raise once in a while. But if he doesn't check raise, he's gonna need a check call. He's strong to let it go.
10 of diamonds, river. Nothing changes, and Phil Ivey remains in the lead with his pair of aces.
I think this is gonna go check check. I think that it's just a bit too thin to go 3. But
I feel like he's going 3.
I've been wrong
I
before.
feel like he's going 3. That's my read. 12K. Come on, Ivy, make me right one time.
You might be right, but
12K. Got him.
pretty excited
Okay.
about that.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna
I-
guess anything the rest of the stream because I'm gonna just keep 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio should fold a raise here. So if he plays his hand correctly, this is just not gonna be good for Ivy. Fold a raise. I think you prefer to have a 7 than a 9, but I think this hand wants to all raise. Having an 8 is pretty good to raise. Blocks the flop value. So I think your best hand to check raise here would be 8-7 or maybe 7-5. But 9-8 is that cusp right below. I think I'd like to see a 5, 10, 15% check raise frequency from Antonius. But he lays down, and that's the thing when you go thin, your opponents beat you by either folding or raising those hands right below you,
Mhm.
and then you don't really get value from them. So yeah, if Antonius had a weak ace, he gets him. But if Antonius had 2 pair, if Antonius is gonna fold, if Antonius was gonna bluff raise, if Antonius was gonna value raise, if Antonius trapped a straight, there's so many ways that this doesn't go well for you. So I think that it's just not phenomenal.
Ivy with the queen 8 off on the button, 2.5x, and Patrik Antonius defended the ace 5 off.
Also, we've seen Antonius do things like flat ace 10 free, so you're gonna lose to some. I know
Yes,
ace 10 is
that
top
is
2 there,
true.
but yeah.
King queen 6, 2 diamonds. Ivy out flops Antonius' ace high with a pair of queens.
Kind of tough spot for ace 5. You don't love it, but you do have ace high.
Mhm.
Another pretty good turn for the big blind. Not as good as the trips we saw earlier, where you're way more likely to have it. Pre-flop here, a bit more even. Does go check check. And I anticipate this to go check.
Speed
I
check
don't know what I've seen him
bet
do.
call.
There's not that much value here, really. There's not value here, I should say.
Check. Alright. We've just seen some really aggressive things so far.
We
I'm
have.
not discounting anything.
I would not like to be looking people up light in this match so far on either side, because it seems that both sides are leaning towards. We've seen a little bit of bluffing,
Yes.
but both sides are leaning more towards just pile driving thin value.
Mhm.
And when you see your opponents doing that, just playing correct and folding appropriately and looking to find bluff raises, that's going to put them in bad spots. There's a bunch of spots so far in this match where on the river, people would have gotten put in really bad spots by raises, and we even saw that get through once.
This is interesting too. It's a single raise pot. You see Antonius flopping second pair and making a small c bet, and Phil Ivey check raising with bottom pair, turning trips, expect him to lead again.
Oh,
Crazy.
lucky Jamie.
He checks.
Did you know some players are really lucky in poker?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that once. I forget where it was.
That.
Trips for Ivy.
Excuse me.
You got to bet this turn, I think.
I was expecting a lead.
I don't really see. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, so for Ivy, I think you got to bet the turn. Get that value. And then for Antonius, what is the goal of this bet?
Mm.
What are you trying to have happen here? He should bluff now, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think Antonius should bluff now. He could have some straight draws, but if they had a heart, they improved. And I think Antonius might want to. Oh man, this is a hand. Wow.
What is Phil gonna do?
And Ivy could raise. Ivy could raise. He blocks
Blocks
boats.
boats, yeah.
Oh my God, Jamie. Oh my God. Is he gonna do it?
Do it. Okay, well that's
Oh,
pretty sick too.
oh my God, though. That is pretty sick.
Wow. That hand's crazy too. We're gonna have like 10 hands to make poker hands videos out of.
Oh, that one was a weird one.
Yeah.
The flop check raise by Ivy, I don't think I love it that much. Occasionally mixing is okay, but it's definitely not a play you should do very often.
Then not leading turn's kind of weird. And then Antonius
Yeah.
betting turn's kind of weird.
Well, it doesn't make that much sense to check turn because you get so much value when you do bet. But once in a while, having trips is okay, and weaker trips make more sense. So
Mhm.
I'm not super hating on that, but I definitely prefer bet.
Mhm.
Antonius's turn bet just seems quite bad because if they continue, you're probably behind, and if they fold, you're folding out hands that you had beat anyway. So I don't see a lot of value in that bet. And then on the river for Antonius, I think it's close to a bet. I think it's probably supposed to be a check, but I don't mind the idea of going for it because you do have you have a lot of value bets, and I also think that most players are not willing to put flop wide enough, so he might be higher up in his range than he should. So, and then I think from Ivy on the river, I think all three are on the table.
I thought you were right that with the 5 in his hand that blocked boats and he's like, okay, this is a good spot to just put in some ridiculous like check raise or check jam.
Yeah,
But the call was actually cooler, in my opinion.
well, the
he's
call
like-
is cool, but the thing is, if you have a boat, you're quite likely to take this line because typically when you turn the boat, it's better to keep your opponent trained wide.
Hmm.
So, and I think when the bottom card pairs, you could even argue to check most of your range. Well, you will check most of your range, or maybe even all of your range if you wanted to. Obviously, you want to have some bet frequency, but you could just simplify. So, boats will definitely go check, raise, check. So you're upping quite credibly, and you don't have trips that often because trips should mainly bet turn. So you don't have trips as much as it seems,
Mhm.
but of course, you can't always do it. So, things to think about. Are you just gonna win this?
I think so. It really feels like it. It felt like it yesterday. Some of the hands you played and got through, like it just feels like it's destiny sometimes. But it is best of 5, and Ivy's up 1-0 right now. He's got to win 3 to take this down. So there's definitely still a lot of poker to be played.
I don't love this 3-bet. Hey, Jim, you have to fold. There were 3-bet folding middling aces for 50 bigs. Don't like the selection there. I do like to see Antonius mix it up and go for a bit more 3-betting. I feel like he's played a bit passive pre-flop, but I think that might be taking it a little bit too far. I'd rather pick some hands that are weaker and use those.
So Antonius is starting to limp on 53 big blinds, queen 6 suited, and Ivy checked. This is a lot earlier than I've seen other players limp. They're starting around 40 or 35 big blinds.
I'd like to see Ivy occasionally raise pre-flop. It's a nice bluff hand. Keep that raise range polar. If I can find two, obviously. Ivy check calls. Antonius, yeah, check back the turn. And Ivy has a mandatory bluff. Mandatory. He has the nut low. What is this bet representing? Half pot? Antonius folded kind of quickly there. I'm surprised you didn't think about it. What is Ivy representing there with a half pot bet?
Or high.
Right. It sort of is. He doesn't really have. So that bet is something you'd expect to see with a 7 or an 8, but he doesn't really have those at check call flop. And then if he has a deuce, half pot's too big. If you had a deuce and you wanted to bet, you need to go 1/3 pot. Or if you had threes and you wanted to bet, that'd be the best hand at 1/3 pot. River would be a hand like threes. And
So
so
last hand, Ivy actually raised queen jack off, got 3-bet by ace queen off, and made the fold.
He folded king jack.
Queen jack.
Oh, queen jack. Oh, it's still pretty tight.
Yeah, it was 3K, 12K.
You're definitely supposed to call that. Pretty tight. Guess we don't have these stacks though, but pretty tight. I actually kind of like queen jack on these stacks because if you hit a queen or a jack,
Uh-huh.
just go with it. You don't have to feel bad.
Well, one of the things I took away from your Negreanu challenge was just how much you have to call pre-flop. It was ridiculous. Like I was like, okay, you're just calling queen jack off. There were multiple hands where we got into deep trouble with queen jack off, having called a 4-bet pre. But you're like, you have to do it. You explained why. I was like, this is crazy. I definitely called too often.
You live by the queen jack, you die by the queen jack. Yeah, some people did not agree with those flats, but it was a mix.
It was a mix. It turned out okay anyway. You got to back the truck up.
Yeah, as long as the truck gets backed up, that's kind of what it's about at the end of the day.
Ivy raising the button with 8-6 off, and Antonius has a decision with queen jack off. He decides to 3-bet. Doug doesn't like it. I heard the
Not sure.
disapproval.
I think it's okay occasionally, but I feel like Antonius is picking hands to 3-bet on 50 big blinds that really suck versus jam. And I think I'd like to keep it a little bit more polarized, kind of like how Ivy chose the Jack 7 suited earlier. I think I like that a bit more.
Now Ivy coming to bet and Antonius folding his 7 high.
I like 3-betting kings, by the way. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good play. So what does Antonius do here with ace jack? Probably 3-bet call jam. Yeah, you got 3-bet call jam. Antonius is 3-betting linear. He's just 3-betting linear towards the top, I think. So he just has a threshold on where his calls ends and where the 3-bets begin. And he called ace 10 earlier, but then 3-bet ace 7. Not sure. Not sure exactly what's going on, Jamie.
We have a raise from Antonius with kings on the button and a defend from Ivy with 10-6 off. Jack 4 deuce 2 hearts. What do you know? Another jack high flop.
That's too loose of a defend pre-flop.
2 with the defend.
Yeah.
Is it close though? If you had like the 10-7-0?
Close, but it's too loose. And it will pay the price unless he just his Ivy tends are tingling. But if they were tingling, he would note kings. So of course he folds.
9-3 off on the button for Ivy. He just folds.
Again, good play from Ivy when your opponent has 8s. A lot of zigging and zagging at all the right times here. All right, we're gonna see a flop here. We're gonna go open call, I think. I think I like, even though some of the plays Ivy hasn't chose maybe the perfect candidates, I think I like sort of Ivy's approach to a lot of these spots a little bit better, where he's being a bit more purposeful and tactful with which hands he selects in some of these positions. It seemed a little more thought out. Whereas I think Antonius is playing a little more linear, direct, trying to re-raise good hands. And I think that what Ivy's doing is a little more suited towards shorter stack play. Not much reason for Antonius to bet the turn here, so I think it's gonna go check. Yeah, not much reason for anyone to bet the river either. So I think check. R2's wins. On the flop, it was bet, right? It went bet call.
I think so.
Ace 2 is supposed to raise sometimes. So that's the kind of raise that a lot of players just don't make, but you are supposed to sometimes mix it in. It's a nice hand because when you have ace 2, you block value with both cards. Ace blocks value, deuce blocks value. And then also, whatever your opponent has a bunch of equity versus you. So you deny a bunch of equity and sort of force those hands out, which has a bunch of value for you. So the solver is almost always like the second, third pairs doing low frequency check raise versus especially smaller sizes.
See a raise from Antonius with king jack off, and Ivy has a decision to make with his ace 9 suited. He just decides to go for the aggressive line and 3-bet.
Yeah, I like this 3-bet call jam. Seems good.
Does Antonius jam or does he flat? He finds the flat.
That seems fine.
10-10-4, 1 club.
And what are we gonna see here? No one flopped anything, and it's all on the table. A small bet from Ivy. I like this. I think Antonius is gonna have to float one. Take one off here, the king jack. It's got the 2 overs. Open ender and a queen. Better on an ace or a 9. Ooh. Open ender for Antonius. It seems like Ivy should be kind of screwed here.
Does he have to check?
Well, he could bet.
And look at the stack sizes. I mean, he's betting about 40%, right?
He's
of
betting geometric.
Antonius' stack.
I don't love this. I don't love this. I think I'd rather bet more polarized. Bet call.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
unreal.
Unbelievable.
Antonius
God.
makes the call and makes Broadway on the river, giving Phil Ivey a pair of aces.
These guys are good.
Oh man.
Ivy's gonna jam, I think. Yeah. You never want to get snapped.
Mm-mm.
Ivy should check the river. If Ivy jams the river, what's he getting called by?
Ivey though, he's just so upset.
Yeah. So this is a funny story.
Mm-hmm. I like to preface all my stories with that. People know to laugh.
How you gonna do me like that on the stream? Anyway, this is a story. I'm gonna say some words.
Okay.
So when I came for my match a couple days ago, I walked in and Ivy and Zinno had just finished playing. And they stand up and Zeno's smiling and joking and gives a handshake and he's
So let's
laughing.
interrupt just now because this is a sick hand. Sorry. So it was just a single raise pot. It went check on the flop. Trips for Ivy, but a straight for Antonius. What's gonna happen, Doug?
Did it check flop?
I think so, because there's only 4 big blinds in there. I think it was min raise call, unless it
How?
was
He has-
limped.
The one check was trips.
Unless it was limped free.
Okay.
Where I was listening to a funny story, supposedly. So you know, I didn't catch it.
It's just unbelievable. Okay, so Antonius says go for the check raise. I think they're both tilted by this river.
Yep.
Flush gets in. I think Antonius likes a small bet here. 1/3 pot or something. But check's okay too, and then Ivy just has to check.
All right. Sorry to interrupt your story. Go on.
No, you know I didn't want to tell my story.
It's wow, you're gonna play like that now? It's like, oh, I'm now
I'm
gonna
hurt.
deprive you of this amazing funny story I was gonna tell everyone. Chat's gonna be mad. They're gonna get the
I didn't say
pitchforks.
amazing funny story. I just said funny story. Okay, so anyway, so I walk in, and Zeno is smiling and shakes Ivy's hand. He's upbeat and he's talking to someone and he's chatting, and then Ivy just slinks away from the table, and I think
Must have lost.
must have lost. So I talked to Ivy, how you been? He's just, yeah, it's been good lately, yeah. And then he leaves, and then I go to Zeno and I say like, oh, so you won? And he said, oh no, I lost. Ivy just not even a smirk, just
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
stone cold.
And then Zeno's always the same too, but he's always just like kind of pleasant, like smiling a little bit. Yeah.
He looked content and genuinely happy.
Got a raise from Ivy with 6s on the button and defend from Antonius, king 5 off. 8, 5, 3, 2 hearts. Ivy's 6s are still best, but Antonius with second pair.
Is that funny enough for you, Jamie?
It was good.
Okay.
You know, if you just said it's
You
a
also
story,
stole my punchline in the middle of it, by the way.
which is what?
You couldn't even let me tell my story.
What was the
And Ivy
punchline?
lost.
Oh.
Just ruined my joke. So you basically interrupt my story 2 times, and then you steal my punchline and
You're
tell my
right.
own joke,
It
and
would
then
have been such a funny story if I didn't steal that
Unbelievable.
punchline. Like we'd still be laughing. We
I'm not
couldn't even
gonna-
cover this
that's
hand.
it. No more stories. That's my final story today. Actually, I'm gonna tell a story about one time when my friend was a dick. It's a great one. You're gonna love it. Okay. Anyway, so got some 6s and a pair of 5s. Check. Oh, sorry, that was the prior street. I thought it was. Okay.
So just a little bit of a block and a call. Is that what we're looking at?
Good usage of the block there from Antonius. I think block and check are both fine. And in Phil's shoes, you gotta call 6s. Anytime you can have value that's beating some of their value,
Mm-hmm.
it's just you have to call because you can beat bluffs, you can beat value. Just too much. Ooh, little 40 big blind Limpsky from Antonius. And we're gonna mix up with another jack high flop. The jacks and the 9s today.
Seriously.
And the 3s a bit too.
Yeah.
All quite hot. a lead.
with just the gutter ball and backdoor flush draw.
If you're gonna have leads, this hand makes some sense.
Okay.
Doesn't have showdown, has good removal, block flush draw, block the backdoor flush draw. But what is Ivy gonna do versus a raise? There we have it. He's gonna call.
No help for Ivy here. Second flush draw, he checks. Is this just check give up now?
Yeah, Ivy's so handcuffed. It could be okay to once in a while give him the check raise. Blocking both flush draws, obviously on an 8, you're gonna take it down versus almost anything other than queen 10. But I think you just check fold. Yeah, I think you just check fold. But maybe no, he's Ivy. He knows that Antonius is queens. You got to think about that. Oh, check raise.
Oh, man.
Nice, nice.
Ivy's so cool.
These guys are so aggro. Ivy's aggro.
Yeah. Antonius says, I'm not putting up with this. Puts Ivy all in. Ivy's got to make the fold.
It's always kind of awkward when you fold there.
Because you just like so
uh,
obviously got caught.
My bad, guys. My bad.
I was just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a prank, bro. It was just a prank. Alright, open call. Ace 10 6. Gutter for Antonius. Top pair for Ivy. I assume he's gonna bet here. Good hand. Get some value. Start building this thing. Obviously, on the stack size, your opponent's unlikely to have an ace. So, by betting, you force a lot of hands to fold here, and you can bet. I would probably say all your range. I haven't done enough short stack stuff, but can't be that bad to bet all your range. Very interesting
Elbow
turn
gutter
now.
for Antonius. He checks.
Oh, I think this needs to be a check raise from Antonius. You don't
Maybe
have
wait.
many check raises on this board, but this is the perfect hand. No flush draws.
What is the value portion of your range when you check raise?
Maybe 6-4,
Okay.
10-4 suited, maybe even just 6-4 suited. You could have ace-4 suited.
This is awesome. Huge check raise, but putting
Yeah,
them all
he's
in.
putting 'em
Sorry,
in, yeah.
Essentially 33K.
Yep.
Oh,
standard call.
baby.
Yeah, I like from both.
And Ivy's got the double up now, back in this match.
I like from both. I think, yeah. Because what's a better check raise on the turn as a bluff than 8-7 there?
Seemed pretty good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good equity when called.
Yep.
And no showdown. So if you're gonna have any check raise range, the argument to not check raising there is you just can't check raise in the ASI boards on the turn, but I think you probably can, and you might have some two pairs that want to, so. Or some traps free.
So single raise pot, queen 5-5. Antonius is going to take a stab with his 8-7 off, and Ivy's calling with his 3s. Ace of clubs on the turn, putting a flush draw out there. Ivy checks.
Antonia should sometimes just blast this turn. Basically, he has a club. It's a good card to bluff with. He has a diamond. That's a pretty good card to bluff with. So it's a nice hand to bet. I don't understand this
Tiny
size
bet.
though. It's a. I said he should blast. He went for the tickle.
Tickle.
Quick tick.
That's a Schulman word, right? 'Cause he said it, and I was like, oh, that's gross.
Someone
Yeah.
says tickle?
He said a little tickle, and I was like, I don't like that.
Who said that?
Schulman said it, and I said, I don't like that. It's kind of a creepy term.
Serious tickle. It's
Don't worry about it, all right? It's just,
I'm under attack today. I'm under siege. Under siege in the booth.
you know, it is funny too. I'm like, Doug, come on, it'll be fun. I lured him in here just to do this.
First, I got to tell really funny stories. You're just throwing my punchline in the middle of them.
Mm-hmm. Pair of tens for
And he
Antonio.
lost. Yeah, you just
He lost.
unbelievable.
Story over. Back to the action.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, top pair for Antonius. Nothing for Ivy. Into the muck. I don't know why, but I would have assumed that there would be some banter between these guys.
I thought so too. Because they're lax. They've like accomplished a bunch and they're here, they're chilling in Cabo. I don't feel like, I thought the intensity would be lower for some reason. Antonius 3-betting the 6-5 suited, gets through.
I like it. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier, where on these stacks you want to pick hands that if you get jammed, you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
You very clearly know what you're doing with that hand, so it makes it a pretty good candidate.
Antonius raises the 5-4 offsuit. Phil Ivey with the 6-4 offsuit defends.
Gutters across the board.
Yep. Ace 8-7 offsuit. Let's see how they both play their gutter balls.
Hmm.
Bet from Antonius. Could this be a check raise spot? Just a call.
You don't really want to check raise that much on this
Yeah.
board because you don't have that many ace X pre. So you have to be a little more careful.
And
But-
his stack's getting shorter as well.
Yeah, that's why you
Yeah.
have less ace X pre.
Okay.
But I think once in a while could be good. You also have so many straight draws to choose from though. And I like this barrel from Antonius. Obviously improves to the nuts on a deuce, or effectively the nuts on a 6. If you do bet that turn, you need to look to fire rivers. You don't have a club. You have a very bad hand. Nice hand to triple. So I like where Antonius is going with that. Also, because it's an ace high board, you're a little less likely to get check raised.
Mhm.
So even though we just saw that not be true, I think you get the barrel with some semi bluffs that on these stacks you might on some boards want to consider just going for the check back. So it was good.
So I believe this was limp check pre. One big blind bet from Phil Ivey is getting raised by Antonius with ace-3 off for the nothing burger. And Ivey makes the fold.
I don't know about that one. Maybe you had a read.
Antonius with ace-3 off again on the button. Let's see what he does.
Once again, guys, if you're unfamiliar with the payouts, first place $400,000, second place $200,000. So this is a $200,000 heads up match.
Ivey electing a 3-bet with his 7-5 offsuit. What do you do with ace-3 off in this spot?
Ooh. Ooh. I think you limp jam.
Antonius finds the fold. Ivey with jack-5 suited on the button now. Limps. Antonius ace-queen suited. I see about a 4x.
Yeah, and this should go raise from Antonius. He says
I
to go just
just-
3x.
3x, I guess, because Ivey's getting so short. I feel like he was 4xing earlier over limps.
That's good. Good from both.
Ivey flopping a gutter ball. Antonius with no piece of this flop.
A flop for Antonius now. It's not a horrible board just to bet. A lot of the hands that will connect with this board will fold to the ISO pre. But if Ivy has a hand like Queen Jack, Jack 10, Jack 9, Queen 9, King 9, then he's gonna call. So a lot of hands do brick on this flop.
Mhm.
I think on the turn though, you just have to check. Bet turn, what are you accomplishing now?
Antonius agrees with you. He finds a check.
And I think Ivy just gets to win this. I mean, what's Antonius gonna do versus bet? Gonna check call twice? Bit conservative here from Ivy.
10 of clubs on the river. Antonius ace high is still best.
Now it's gonna get weird if Ivy bets because there are almost no tens in Ivy's flop float range. Very few tens. And so when Ivy bets river, he's saying, hey, I either have a 10 or a 7 that check turn. So, or maybe some kind of trap, but it's pretty unlikely. So Ivy has to bet, and he bets a weird size. He bets 40% pot. That's not what a 10 would bet. He's kind of ripping a 7. I don't like this. I think he should just bet the turn, and if it did go check to him on the river, he should bet something real manly. Some real power on this last bet. This is just some kind of touch that makes you laugh.
That Elmo likes? I can't think of the word. Yeah.
There's a word for it. I
Yeah,
can't think.
whatever.
It gets through though. And if I was in Antonius' shoes there, I would be very curious. because he's not telling a very congruent story in that hand. I mean, I think folding ace queen, it can't be that bad. If you have so many other better hands to call with, but I'd still feel a little curious.
Mhm.
Then again, I'm pretty sticky and call too much, so
Heard that about you.
Yeah.
Thinking that the heads up match, I think some people were saying things like that, perhaps.
yeah.
Maybe punctuated by the fact that Negreanu spent the first half of the challenge not bluffing one river. I'm kidding, but it did seem like that for a while. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he didn't bluff that much on the river early,
Mhm.
or late. But he had some. It just
Mhm.
wasn't enough. He should have been firing a little bit more often.
Ivy was 6-5 suited on the button. Finds the limp. Antonius, king 10 off. What do you do here?
Hey, check. Because if they limp jam on you, you are host.
Yeah, and you're folding a hand that probably has decent equity. But he does raise, gets called. Ace 7 deuce 2 diamonds.
Oh, chat.
Yeah, sorry, chat. I've been ignoring you a little bit. My bad. Antonius c-bets, takes it down.
Or maybe I won't pull up chat.
That's not working.
Uh,
I have mine on my other laptop because I just didn't want to mess with this.
yeah, fair.
Antonius raises ace 3 off and gets through. Two nice hands here. Phil Ivey on the button with queen 10 suited. 33 big blinds.
Yeah.
Takes the raise. Antonius with pocket fours. Shoves all in. Look at
Oh, wait, did I
all that
ruin my-
equity being folded.
Sorry.
What the?
I thought I might have ruined my camera, but then I realized I didn't. I think we're okay. Technology's there. Dean C makes a good point that actually, in fact, Antonius beat Doug. So you can really only take what I have to say so
Mhm.
far.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. I
So
think I'll go this alone since I haven't lost either of these players. Is that cool?
What's up?
I said I'll do the rest of this commentary alone since I haven't lost to
good
either of
point,
these
okay.
players. There's still a chance I'm
I,
not
I,
worse.
I'm out, but I just wanted to also be clear that Justin Moran says he doesn't like Doug. So let's just. It's a good thing to.
He pulled up the chat just in time for that. I don't like Doug.
Chat's not been friendly,
Oh
and we used to get along. So we really didn't.
yeah.
We never did.
Actually, you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube and they don't like you? That's the streets you live on.
Oh no.
Oh, brutal.
Oh, I should definitely not pull Twitch then.
Both players flopping a 10 here. Ivy's 10 is best, although Antonius does have the back flush draw. And 3 of hearts puts that flush draw out there.
Good check looks good. Showdown for both players, and I expect us to see a bet here. Ivy could go for a little bet himself. He does. And Antonius is just going to have to pay this off second pair. Pretty strong hand. Can't go folding these second pairs in spots like this.
Can we pause this game for just a bathroom break? No? Huh? I can take
Friendly
this to
game.
the back.
We can just agree to fold or something the next hand, or whatever.
I just have to pee quickly. Okay.
Okay, so take the iPad, yeah. Oh wait.
Wait,
Taking the iPad from the bathroom. I love this match. This is amazing.
why is he going outside?
Uh,
I don't think there's a bathroom out there.
yeah, it's a nice
That's over
hotel.
by us.
It's a nice hotel. It doesn't have an outhouse.
How tilt are you? You flop trips, your opponent checks, and then you bet, and they say, "Can I go to the bathroom?" and then leave.
Yeah.
While you have chip. Who won the first? Phil Ivey won the first. He's up 1-0.
Antonius timing out. I wonder why. I wonder what he's doing.
Hmm.
He ends up making the raise.
Is
Last
he raising
second.
from the bathroom? Is that what's happening?
Uh-huh.
I hope that they watch that iPad. Tyler Harper Doug, sorry if you already talked about it, but can you tell us about your run this? You were in the heads up team, right? Yes, I was. I played in the first round versus Tom Dwan. I lost the first game and came back 2 in a row, hitting a boat against trips. Then I played Antonius in the second round, losing with trips against the boat. It was pretty beautiful.
Mhm.
In the circle of life, poker moves on. Shout out to the chat, guys. A lot of cool people in the chat. Appreciate the kind words. Hope you guys are enjoying the match today with Phil Ivey against a man that's not on webcam in the bathroom. I hope
Yeah.
this gets clipped.
Great. That would be really funny if this is like the hand that everyone's talking about. Something crazy happened. Like Antonius
he's
just
just in
jams
the-
right now and he's just in the John. Yeah.
He went outside, right?
It looked like he was going that way and then he decided to use the bathroom instead of the balcony.
What
Wait, I'm not sure.
what,
I
what
won't ask.
happened? Unclear.
Yeah, for anyone just joining us too, Ivy is up 1-0. He needs to win 3 to close it. It's a best of 5 match. And first place is $400,000. Second place, $200,000. And Antonius flops the straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a straight. Not his favorite turn card. As a 7 now completes a higher straight.
All right, he's back. That was something. Oh, now Ivy's gonna use the restroom, huh?
No way.
How about this, guys? How many heads-up tournaments have you seen where both players are on webcam taking bathroom breaks?
0. This is history in the making.
Now I hope they watch both iPads. Actually, maybe they just burn these iPads. Let's get some fresh iPads out. Next event.
Yeah. There was a table, Poker News reported on it, in the ladies' event where they all decided to go to the bathroom. And they
Oh, I
just
remember that.
stopped. Yeah, they're like, see ya.
Remember that. That would never happen in a tournament with men.
Limp pot, Jack, Jack 6. Check, check. Not much for either player.
Ivy's first check of the day, by the way. 8 high and he's taking a piss. Oh, Lord. Check it out. He's got other matters to attend to. Nothing like bluffing on the can.
I'm getting called by Queen High.
Insta call, Antonius. The Ivy was shit.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh
Lord.
man.
All right. Let's
That's
not-
some premium content.
This is gonna get off the rails if we keep going down this road. So our players are back at the table. Everyone's ready to go, and the match continues. Antonius checking flop charts. Yeah, I'm sure they were in the bathroom saying, "Hey, what do I do here?"
You see Antonius starting out with the best hand and Ivy flopping a double gutter. With the backdoor diamonds. Turn is a 10 of clubs.
I think we're gonna see check. Both players have showdown. Not a lot of incentive to bet here. Antonius, I think he's trying to buy himself a cheap showdown. Really nice play versus specifically ace 4, but
And Ivy gets lucky on the
Yeah,
river, making a
I
pair of
mean-
fours.
Seems every time Ivy check calls behind, he just has a real knack for hitting pairs that are good.
Chat has dubbed it P gate. They said that he went in there to do some solves.
Yeah, that would be an extremely good play on 2 big blind pots. Watch out, Antonius, we're on to you. More bathroom break and
I just thought of the worst joke of all time. I don't know if I can help myself.
what's up?
I say I thought of the worst joke of all time, and I'm trying to not say it.
Was it amazing? No, was it a
It's
hilarious joke?
so bad. Maybe he was PO solving.
I love it when people tell me how bad their jokes are before they say them.
It's good that we're only doing the first 2 games, so I think it's gonna get really ugly. Like by game 5, friendship
Oh, we're only
ruin.
doing the first 2 games?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, you could. What? Yeah. We got Joey and Schulman coming in to relieve us.
Oh wow, I was buckling in.
You were buckling in? Oh wow.
This could be it. This could be our final hand.
Whoa.
All right, Ivy
I don't
3
know about
bets.
that anymore.
Call from Antonius. Jack 10-6 flush draw. I think Ivy has kind of hand likes to bet. He's fine if he gets jammed on, so makes a nice bluff candidate. And then you can look to barrel some turns rivers, 5 or a 4. He's gonna have a open-ended or a double gutter. Or I guess really a double gutter either way. But
That'll do
no
it. Though.
dice. But you're happy to fold bet fold 8-7. You're not too upset about it.
Did you want to take the first bath break or the second?
Uh,
How do we not troll?
well, that's gonna be a clip, I think. Riveting action from the heads up grand finals.
I'll keep commentating.
Oh no. Oh no, we don't need that.
No. 2 big hands right now. Ivy king
Oh.
queen off, and Antonius with pocket 7s.
Ivy has to call. Has to bet call. He's got too strong of a hand for these stacks.
He
Does make a
does.
call.
Ivy's gonna need to win this flip. Oh, king high flop.
And of course, why wouldn't he? Oh, wait, actually.
What? Oh, wow.
No, he was
I thought the
still.
7.
Wow, Antonius was completely dead in the turn.
Yeah.
Of the a 7. That was weird. It looked like Antonius had possibilities to win
It
somehow.
did. It was like
but
on a straight cam. I was like, oh no, I forgot
he
hand
didn't.
rankings.
And Ivy right back into the lead, where he does his best work. Ivy raises it up with king 10.
Patrik with not much. 40's off.
Yeah, I think he's gonna let this one go.
Yep. My favorite is that the chat's on like a 2-minute delay, so if you do make a very terrible joke, you just have to wait for everyone to like groan. We have a raise from Antonius with 9-7 off. I'm gonna see a 3-bet from Ivy with ace king off.
I'm happy to grow in real time, so
Yeah,
please see if that.
thanks. You do see a 3-bet.
Yeah, and this kind of sucks for 9-7, so a little bit over 3x, but you probably just have to late. It's getting close though for that size. It's pretty small.
Ivy now king 4 suited.
Lines are going up.
2.5x.
3K big blind.
Antonius is just a dusty 9 deuce off.
I don't like this from Ivy. I think you limp this hand. You get jammed on, you fight the race fold, so I think that hand usually prefers a limp.
Aces for Antonius. Not much brewing for Ivy though.
Could limp here anyway, so should work out.
But he does raise. Ivy folds.
They shouldn't give me chips. They shouldn't give me chips. Why do they give me? I'll find it
You
later.
and Joey both. It's like you've never handled poker chips before. He was in the booth dropping it every 2 seconds.
Yeah, dropping it every 2 minutes. Ivy's got kind of big raise size here, 2.5x on the stack size. Normally you see more around min. Antonius 20 by the blinds, king 7 suited. I expect a call here. And then Ivy with the pocket jacks. Probably gonna raise it up. I think this is the kind of spot we could see a big pop brewing.
I agree. King 7 suited too good to fold here, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you're at least calling. Question is, should you ever raise? I don't know. I think you just pure call.
Not much action on the Queen 8-4.
Mm-mm.
Jax is probably incentivized to play it kind of. Would you see bet this?
I think so. I think
Okay.
1/3 pot, like Ivy did, is good here.
Not much for Antonius.
He's just gotta fold. He's got no backdoor flush draw, no straight draw.
Said, look, I'm gonna turn a 5 or 6 and off to the races. But
Well, he's not getting Ivy off this, so Antonius can just sort of decide how much money he wants to lose because Ivy's just not folding on these stacks. He's just not.
Mhm.
And now Antonius is gonna want to probably bet. Ivy's gonna check call.
small bet as well.
Yeah, it's so small. I mean, Ivy's definitely check calling. The real question is, what's the river? Will Antonius bluff it? Will Ivy call it? Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Check
This
from
is a nice-
Ivy.
Yeah, it's a nice bluff spot now for Antonius. A lot of stuff got there. A lot of stuff
Kind
would
of
have paired up.
Unfortunate that Ivy's holding is Jacks with the Jack of Spades, though, right? Makes it a little less believable if Patrik shoves.
Yeah, I mean, that is unfortunate, but what does Antonius really have to bluff with that limp calls a 4x pre-flop? He's not going to have a lot of the 7, 6, 6, 5,
Mhm.
7, 5. You'd have those suited, I think, but he kind of got to be floating.
Oh.
Nope, he's just
Ivy says, no way.
he's just snapping it off. Get out of here. And that's
Yeah.
2 in a row for Phil Ivey.
Wow.
Catches Antonius with the proverbial hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, and that, I mean, Ivy just needs to take down one more to win 400K in this first WPT Heads Up Championship sponsored by Poker King. It's been incredible. This has been really fun to watch. These guys are in the street. It's been street poker.
That one I feel they got a little, they played a little more respectable. The first one I feel they were running and gunning. That one seemed a bit more legitimate, other than the mid-round bathroom break.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you gotta go. So Doug and I are actually leaving the booth now, and we're gonna have Nick Schulman and Poppy Joey Ingram in the booth to close this out. They might be commentating 1 match or 3 more matches, depending on if Patrik Antonius can get back in this game.
Find out after the break.
Yep, thanks guys, and we'll see you later.
What if women had a seat at every table? A seat in every classroom, every interview room, every boardroom. What if women sat at every table and played a game? A game that made them strategic, decisive, resilient, analytical, influential, unapologetic, and confident. What if this game was a game changer to change the stats? To change our stories? To change the future? This game is played at a table. Flip the table. Raise the stakes. Play to win. We saved you a seat. That game is poker. And the players? They're fearless. Poker power. Join us.
It's very interesting thinking about the poker boom and thinking about that time. Looking back at it now, it was a fun time, and nobody could ever actually prepare me for that. You know, when I started playing poker, I never expected to be Phil Ivey, to get a hold of millions of dollars at such a young age, living in Vegas. It was just an incredible experience. I still remember the first time somebody came up to me and asked me for my autograph. I just couldn't believe it.
You were way, way bigger than me. I mean, if we put a number 5 times bigger.
100 times.
100
No,
times,
I'm
okay.
just joking, I'm joking.
No, but I'm saying people would say hi to me, maybe want a picture. They'd follow you into the bathroom.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times.
Right. No, but you're talking with positive words, and a lot of times you were annoyed.
I was annoyed when I was eating, and I would be bothered. So other than that, I wasn't really. I don't really think I was annoyed too much.
Let
Like
me
you think I
remind
was.
you then. Remember when people were flashing cameras in your eyes and your eyes are red and that stuff?
Oh yeah, of course that stuff annoys you when people are flashing cameras in your eyes. But the overall experience of the poker boom was great. To be completely honest, you know, during the whole poker boom, I didn't really appreciate it. You know, there was times where, you know, like I was golfing with Michael Jordan, like, you know, one of the people that like I looked up to as a child.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
You know, like, you know, I was at dinner with Obama.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, like, were just, of course, those things were amazing. But I can say, like, I honestly didn't appreciate them the way that I do now, being able to look back at those things. The young, up-and-coming poker players, a lot of them are
So what was the difference in your mindset between grinding and between having a bankroll where it didn't really matter if you won or lost?
The funny thing is, when I was grinding, I didn't realize I was grinding. But I was grinding, of course, right? But like, on the way up, when I was playing, I always saved enough to play at the limit that I felt most comfortable at. And the grinding, you know, obviously if you're out there grinding now, you're grinding low stakes, this is a fun time. Make sure you play within your bankroll and, you know, make sure you, you know, keep poker as a fun thing. In anything, you know, there are some sad stories, people that have lost all their money playing poker, people have lost all their money gambling. So, you know, like, you know, you have to keep that in mind, and it's not something you can take for granted. I put myself in some bad situations through the years. You know, I've played out of my means. Sometimes it's benefited me, sometimes it hasn't.
I know for a while you were doing business type projects. Is that what you would go to?
Yeah, I'm involved in different businesses. Like, you know, I have a partner in the restaurant business. So of course, I'll let him take care of those things. You know.
So you just be a businessman.
I'm currently in the. You're gonna laugh, but I'm currently in the music business.
Well, I want to hear you sing.
Yeah, right. I have a couple artists, and
Okay.
but that's more of just a fun thing to do, and you know, I just you know, I right now enjoy golfing. I enjoy meditating, yoga, spending time with my family. You know, reading. You know, these are the things I enjoy. People ask questions like, "What do you do when you're 70?" People ask questions like, "What are you going to do if poker stops tomorrow?" Right? But my mind doesn't work this way. So if I answer that question, I'll just be making something up.
Right.
You know, so the thing is,
you'll figure something out.
My thing is, I try to live in the day and live in the moment. I don't really think about what I will be doing if this happened. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big problem for most people, is that they start future tripping, start thinking about like all these different scenarios in their head, and then all of a sudden they have anxiety out of nowhere. And you know, so like for me, I try to stay in the present as much as I possibly can. There was a moment where I really was not enjoying playing. Well, that's not true. I always enjoyed playing. I just didn't have the same passion as I did when I was younger. And now that passion for playing is coming back now because I'm more appreciative, you know, and grateful when I'm playing, and more in the moment now, more than I've ever been. And it's like almost like poker's a new experience to me. So, yeah, the fire is there to play. The fire is there to become as you know, as good as I can again.
You're a reborn poker player?
Yeah, I'm a reborn poker player. That's right. That's exactly right. It's pretty funny.
When I think of Phil as a person, he's always someone who proved to me there's more to him as an intellectual person and as a compassionate person than at first you can see. There are people, maybe because of professional jealousy, I want to beat them, I want to do better than them. I never really felt that with you. And the reason is because the way it started out. Because you started out younger than me, and we had our personal friendship. So I never had that adversarial feeling with you.
I never enjoyed beating you either, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Phil's a friend for life. I know that. The way he's carried on, I sometimes think I'm going to be the one at his funeral instead of the other way around.
Oh my God.
But can you at least say 5 years ago I wasn't so sure?
Yeah, I was a little out there.
Okay, now I'm starting to feel you're taking good care of yourself. You're going to have to show up at my funeral. We have a bond that's going to last. It's just just the way it is.
When I think of Barry Greenstein, I think of one of my very good friends, somebody who was there for me in poker when I didn't have anything, somebody who I've always looked up to, somebody who's always going to be a part of my life. I'm grateful to have him as a friend. He was a mentor to me. Barry is just a good guy. He's nowhere near as good a poker player as me, obviously. I mean, I didn't want to have to say that, but yeah, that's it. Well, that's not it, but I'm not really good at these things. You know, it would be much easier for me to say nice things about Barry if he wasn't here.
Right.
back. Joey Ingram, aka Chicago Joey in the house back here. Shout out to Jamie Kerstetter, Doug Polk for doing such a great job. The previous 2 games, we're here watching the $25,000 World Poker Tour Heads Up Nolan Hold'em Championship live down here, Cabo, Mexico. And we got a battle on our hands today. Phil Ivey, Patrik Antonius joining me once again in the booth here. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nick Shulman. Nick.
Hello, sir.
Great to see you again, my friend. Listen, last night we were in the booth here and we watched quite a historic moment for our man Phil Ivey. The internet got a little crazy right now with that 9-7 offsuit hand. I mean, I'm still kind of in disbelief at kind of what we saw by the GOAT, by the legend. And right now, Ivey up 2-0 against Patrik. Nick, any thoughts kind of coming into here, what we're going to see? I mean, Phil Ivey seems like my man is locked in and he's ready to take this one down.
Right. I mean, it's kind of starting to feel like Ivy time the way it's gone down, but of course, Patrik capable of winning 3 straight. So let's see if he can close them out. Been a great match so far, and a couple of goats down here, Poppy. I mean,
crazy.
Phil Ivey.
Seeing it out here. I mean, internet's kind of on fire. They said, what is this, 2008? What is going on right now? I mean, listen, these two are legends of the game. Some of the all-time best players of all time, high stakes tournament cash games. I'm not surprised to see the boys here. And some people are surprised to see the boys here. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, remember, there's a little live element to this tournament too, even though it's online. It's with the whole, and no, I mean, if Phil Ivey or Patrik are ever down there in anything meaningful, it's not surprising.
Well, guys, listen. YouTube, Twitch, we're live. Thousands of people out there watching, ready to watch this 3rd match. Can Phil Ivey close it out? Can Patrik come back? Best of 5, 400,000 up top. I believe we're going to check out the action here. We're going to get into it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Starting off. So the blinds go up every 11 hands here.
So nuts for Patrik there. Check raises. Ivey wisely gets away with bottom pair. Every 11 hands now, as opposed to 7, like it's been the whole tournament. And this is a best out of 5, as a lot of you guys know. Ivey up 2-0. So if he wins this match, it's a wrap.
Shout out to everybody watching YouTube, on Twitch. My man Matt Jarvis out there, Mr. CEO of Cash Live. What's up, brother? Nice to see you. My CEO that I work with. Shout out to Matt. Hey, Patrik.
Straight comes in for both men.
Yeah, I saw Patrik Antonius earlier today. He was a little hungover from last night, and he was walking it up, had a coffee, had a water, ate a bunch of food. So
Patrik looks good. All right, he's out here by the beach. It's different out here.
That's what he was telling me. He's like, "Yo, man, I made a drink a little bit too much." We saw him at the fire pit, 2 a.m. So
comes with that thought, and of course, Ivey isn't folding. Perhaps this card Ivey can get away. Let's see. Maybe if Patrik comes with something just north of 10K in that range, it's an awkward spot for Ivey. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We fear spades. Of course, we fear the jack. Lock in, Poppy.
Definitely locked in.
And he does get away relatively quickly, so bravo. Not so easy, guys.
They're saying my unplug, replug. You guys, sorry about that if there is any microphone issue. I came in here, put it on, ready to get after it. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, on Twitch. My name's out there. What's going on, guys? So PA takes the early lead, 140 to 111. Looks pretty focused right there.
Yeah, he does. And Phil's a kind of guy, when he gets really dialed in, he kind of hits new sort of levels of just focus and so on.
How do you think that manifests itself in the game?
Oh, well, for him, he just makes these bizarre reads and just get dialed. Some players just kind of go unconscious in big moments. He's always sort of been one of them, as Antonius lays a little sneak down with top pair with the heart. Ivey with the hearts here. Not the best turn for him in a single raise pot.
Saw him lead very often on the turn. The last match we commentated on, once again, does go ahead for the lead here.
That he does about 30%. Let's see what Patrik comes with. In all likelihood, just a call.
I doubt we ever see a raise here. Let's just call. No likely to bluff this river, Nick?
I think there's a chance. He doesn't have the best cards for bluffing, theoretically, and he does just kind of wave the white flag. Probably a wise choice.
Patch tries to get a little bit of value here. Not sure what he could get called by.
Right. I think
Would
in
Ivy
all
lead an 8 on the
likelihood.
turn? Not sure.
In fact, he does go for value, Poppy, half pot. So you see how thin these guys are willing to go at times.
About that hand yesterday, Nick. I mean, Twitter's all talking about it. Everyone's kind of fired up.
9-7 off.
9-7 off.
R.I.P. Chris Crock. R.I.P. Apotheosis. We love you, dog. One of the best players in the world, but that was just not his hand to win. I think we can say that. And as far as the Ivy procedures there, I mean, fairly iconic hand. Two undercards with no backdoor.
We definitely saw Ivy. I mean, we saw Ivy get real animal
Yes,
with it. Here we go.
Poppy.
Lock in. 4-bet
Guys.
alert. What's going on? 10-4 offsuit. Phil Ivey. Do not try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Jack 8 suited, Nick. Maybe a call out of position. 4-bet.
It's very close, Joey. It's kind of cuspy. I think 8-10, Jack 9 were in. Jack 8 he deemed to be a bit too wide, and obviously Ivy kind of seizing the moment there with 10-4 offsuit, getting Jack 8 suited to fold pre after 3-betting. So well done.
We have not seen many 4-bets so far, and Ivy coming out 3-betting once again. So Ivy putting the pressure on Patrik Antonius, trying to take down this heads-up Milliman Hold'em championship. Best of 5, first person to win 3 games. Phil Ivey, Patrik Antonius, legends of the game. Out to Josh Heinzel. What's up, Josh? Nice to see you guys here.
Ended with backdoor for Ivy and the gut shot. Backdoor of his own for Antonius. Facing half pot, let's see. Probably a call.
Probably call one street, reevaluate on the turn, try to improve, hit a jack, maybe a king. Not really loving the king. When you do make it, they'll be by that ace and jack. And just lay it down, not surprised by that.
Fair enough.
Hasn't been a very talkative match so far. Did you see that bathroom break the boys had? Patrik,
did see that,
you ever seen that? Final table, they just
You generally they don't go to the bathroom and still play a hand from the bathroom, but we've seen it all down here this week, Poppy.
yeah,
Pretty good flop for Patrik here. The gut shot, the diamond club, even to deter some continues from Phil.
Something you talked about yesterday, having that diamond club in your hand when the board textures like this.
Little lead for Patrik here in match 3, guys.
And we saw how important it was for Ivy to take the lead early on in those matches yesterday. Ruben Slate, what's going on, brother? Nice to see you. David B. How's it going, guys? Everybody out there on Twitch and YouTube, I saw everybody pretty fired up. Like Bill's going to be defending pretty wide here.
Oh my,
wow.
Poppy.
Here we go. Lock in.
Big pot energy. Hello, sir. Nut
Top
straight
pair.
for Ivy. Top pair, top picker with the backdoor for Patrik. Very respectable holding, playing heads up, to say the least. 4280 out there, and he comes with a big size. Phil with the straight, no heart, might elect to just juice it up now. And for Patrik, there's no folding whatsoever. Let's see.
Let's go with the raise.
He'll come with 3 some odd X, and
I got to wonder what your opponent has here, Nick.
yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff he can have. Draws,
How
obviously.
many flush draws would he be check raising?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Only the good Lord above knows.
Oh my God.
Patrik does call, and it just gets uglier for him, Poppy. It might just be. Well, let's see.
This is how you do it, my friends. Nut straight for Phil Ivey. Top 2 pair, Patrik Antonius. He faced the check raise on the flop. He's ahead of hands like 5-6, 5 deuce, 6 deuce. Maybe Phil could have a hand like a nut flush draw, turn that top pair as well. Yeah, Patrik plays this call, raise.
Merits to both plays.
Patrik deciding what to do. If he does call, he's going to not want to see a heart on the river.
A lot of time left for Patrik. He does come with call.
That's
And
a
pretty clean river for Patrik. It's going to be exceptionally hard to get away. Wow. Phil Ivey, ladies and gentlemen.
Phil Ivey could take this down right here if he does make a pot. I bet he's all in.
Jam and Poppy. I mean, he
Patrik
got snapped
snap
off, and just like
calls.
that, Patrick's under 10 big blinds. Phil Ivey
Nice
incredibly
hand,
close
nice
to
hand.
taking it
Oh,
down.
well.
Oh, and just like that, Phil Ivey has Patrik Antonius on the ropes. 7 big blinds left for Patrik. And you know he's got to be crushed like that there, Nick.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Poppy, exactly, buddy. Patrik just really unlucky there. We know Phil Ivey very capable of bluffing. We obviously saw him make those animal bluffs yesterday. Patrik knows about some of those hands. I mean, Ivan, even if, right, you can't get away from that.
Ivey broke the internet with 9-7 offsuit. How are we folding top 2 to this guy the next day? 9 deuce suited for Patrik. Okay, he's on the comeback trail. Ivey drawing dead, so the show marches on.
Little double up there. Patrik Antonius, 9
And
deuce
some
of clubs.
crazy comebacks over the years, but not only does he need a comeback here, he then needs to win 2 straight. But let's see. Good start doubling there, Poppy.
So we got, oh my God, 185.
85 to 15 in
not a good
terms of
spot.
bigs.
Yeah. Patrik has to maintain that composure. 9 deuce suited there. Maybe a little bit of a loose shove for that stack
Okay,
size.
actually, for 7 bigs.
7 bigs, yeah.
Suited. Hey guys, let's see.
What do you think about a hand like Jack 10? Is that going to change
That's
at all?
in there
Jack
for
10 of
sure.
hearts, yeah.
Without a doubt. Does let it go.
Cat's fired up seeing that hand.
Of course. 5 for Ivey.
This is a best of 5. We'll be here if this match does go on for longer than 3, but this could be it. Phil Ivey looks like he's got him on the ropes. Piece for both. Straight draws.
Couple of raggedy gut shots for both men. That's right, Poppy.
Ivey elects not to bet.
Does come in for Patrik with the redraw just in case. So well timed for him. All of these pots so key. Apologies for the obvious, but 15 bigs to 185 bigs. We need to make things happen right now. Comes with half pot. Ivey looks him up with the 5s. And let's see. Maybe Patrik can get a few more chips out of Phil. Out of a curious Phil.
Phil with that third pair now, Jack 5. Patrik could have a hand like a 6, 7.
Right.
Some type of
A lot
blocker.
of stuff in limp check, check, check. It's a pretty inviting size here. Something like 60%, I believe. Does get paid off, so 20 bigs. How sweet it is to have 20 bigs when you're down to 7 and all in with 9 deuce suited. I mean,
you gotta hang in there, huh?
Gotta hang
keep
in
fighting,
there.
kid. You gotta keep
You know,
fighting.
king high here, 6 deuce for Ivey.
Phil Ivey optimal here. The human solver himself.
That's right.
We did see Phil. Phil actually thought he won there, right? He took out the headphones.
Took
Looked
off
like
the
he thought it was
headphones,
over.
and as you guys saw, not a huge celebration. Just good game, Patrik, but he realized it's not over just yet.
Life project. Shout out to you, brother. Much love.
Great flop for Patrick's range here at this depth when it doesn't get re-raised pre.
I think Patrik, or you think Phil would be 3-betting, 3-bet shove hands like Queen Jack? Queen
All of
10 with
the,
the
a
stack
lot
size?
of those, certainly the suited ones, and then of course the pairs and the Queen King, the Queen King, Ace Queen, Ace King situation.
Thanks everybody for watching on YouTube, on Twitch. A lot of people out there watching. About last I checked, 7,000 people tuned in. Aces here, American Airlines, Patrik Antonius, the weapons of mass destruction. Uh-oh.
Comes with the sneak, Joey.
Ivey.
Kinda like it.
I'm sure Patrick's opened that Phil this jam, but he doesn't. Not the best board. Races. But there's so Patrik getting a little bit tricky. Pocket aces. Uh-oh.
Be close for Ivey. Let's see how Patrik proceeds. Probably a jam. Maybe he comes with some 3-bet. A small kind of 3-bet. Does go with jam, and this is quite close for Phil. He just snaps it off, sure.
Ivey needs a king. He's a king. And a king only. And just like that.
Just
Here
like
we go,
that.
Nick.
Guys, now it's 3-1. Now it's, you know.
Here we go. Patrik Antonius with another double up to 45 big blinds after being down to 7. And now Phil Ivey still with that big chip lead. How do you think that might affect Phil Ivey here? Doubles him up his opponent, took off the headphones, mentally prepared like it was a good game, and And now he's
I think
back in
it's
it.
over, and
right?
then it's not, does weigh on you a little bit, but this is Phil Ivey we're talking about. He's dialed in right now, Joey.
Earlier in those beautiful cargo pants.
Antonius takes the free card.
You guys want to see what the setup is? I've been posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff on my Instagram story. You guys want to check that out, see what Cabo's like with people down here. Poppy GTO. I know people always like that kind of stuff. Phil. Best hand here, third pair. Might go for a little value here, try to get called. Be a 6 and 8. He does. We've seen him
He
do that.
agrees with you, Joe. He comes with half pot. And for just queen high here, no diamond, it's going to be pretty tough.
Down. You guys are wondering, the boys are playing right outside this room that me and Nick are doing commentary in down in Cabo. We've been here last bunch of days. This is, I think, the 5th day of this 32 events. We had some of the top players in the world tuned in. We had some influencers down here, some businessmen, a couple online qualifier. My man Steve Aoki was in the mix as well too. So it's a beautiful event put on by Poker King and WPT. And I think it's gone really well down here, man. I had a great experience, and it's been great to hang out with all the players, the staff, everybody working real hard, putting in long hours. So great to see the culmination in two legends like this, Phil Ivey and Patrik Antonius. PA?
For sure, Poppy. Shout out everybody. Ivy comes with third pot here. Ace deuce. It's awkward, but I think we peel.
He does. You're tanking a little bit. Phil might decide to put pressure on him here. Has that 4, has that 9.
Right. It's a kind of interacty sort of hand for Phil with the heart and the 9, as you mentioned. We put pressure on some of the overcards and some of these raggedy ace highs, but he does elect to check back, which is certainly understandable. And now let's see, once again, Phil has a decision for Patrik to check, which I think would be conventional here with the showdown value.
Just give it up. So Patrik, every chip matters here. Blind just go up. So it's 130 to 40 right now. Patrik Antonius was down to 7.
3 to 1 is surmountable. 8 or 9 to 1 starts to, obviously feel like it's getting away, but 3 to 1,
Right.
as you said, Ivy took the headset off. He said, good game.
You notice, I mean,
Guy,
it's real easy when you're playing heads up that the action goes real fast. It's real easy to kind of lose your composure. Patrik said he went on tilt a little bit during yesterday's session and just didn't think he played well and kind of had to get the composure down. You don't have any time to take off. There are no hands to take off.
Absolutely. That's a great point, Joey. See what Ivy does here? A bottom pair, 10 of hearts. Not fun, but he marches on. For Patrik, we have a barrelable one in the form of the 5 high, the wheel draw, and the spade. But check also seems reasonable.
You might think Ivy's going to raise most of his suited spade hands, some of his aces as well too.
Right.
Might make him more inclined to want to bet here.
He comes with a pretty friendly kind of sides on the surface, 60%, and that gets it done. So nice application of pressure on things like deuce X that we saw. Even some 8X is in a weird spot.
My man Garrett Adelstein in the chat. Adelstein, what's up, brother? Nice to see you, Poppy.
Shout out Garrett. Shout out everybody.
Garrett, man. Shout out to Garrett. Me and Garrett gonna together do something here, hopefully in the future. Got Garrett back in the mix, playing some high stakes as well. The legend himself, man. Mr. LA Poker.
3, 4, 5 here. No heart for Ivy. Comes
Continue
with
for
third.
Patrik. It seems ace high. It seems on the surface to be a call, but
these are dice. Sometimes the way the ace highs work is the low ones call things like ace 3, ace deuce, and these sort of mix it up. And then of course the high ones of 3-bet pre, but were they in this spot? They're in as well. I think Patrick's decision there is close, and Ivy's check back with the 5 seems quite understandable. In all likelihood, we have a check winner for Phil, although let's see.
We've seen Phil get a little spicy with some of his value bets on later streets, even not intuitively. Not intuitive hands.
Extremely thin.
Yeah, target that ace high. Maybe he thinks Patrik would bet for value with the king or the 10 a little bit frequently, but he does check back.
And you could tell he kind of felt it, like you said, Poppy. He does love to go for thin value and make these, it's part of what makes him such an enigma, especially in a long match. Over the years, Phil beat mostly everybody he played playing heads-up cash games. That's really true. Of course, I'm sure somebody out there had his number at some point, but really he's beaten a lot of players, and part of it is just the kind of curveball element, and then he starts to feel his opposition. Great heads-up player over the years, all games. He's out of there. Tony's bottom pair takes it down. Hanging around, Poppy, 3 to 1. I mean, hanging around.
Patrik did indeed beat Doug Polk to get here. Patrick's road started with
Gap. Guys, Doug, Stefan.
Yeah. Like Ivy's going with that bigger raise size, a little 2.5x. Ace-6 offsuit for Patrik. Looks like he's thinking about maybe doing something besides calling here.
Definitely looks like he's thinking about it, and he does come with the 3-bet. Nice timing from him.
Patrik fight back here, almost a 3-1 chip lead for Phil Ivey. That's the 5 right now. Phil Ivey takes this down. He will be our 25 million. How does this guy? That's crazy, man. He comes back in. Francis, let's go. What's going on? Francisco, let's go. I want to play some pot limit with Phil Ivey and Antonius. Absolutely, yes. I'm going to stack them both. Queen 4, Patrik, backdoor straight draw, queen high, doesn't continue.
Half pot deemed it a little bit too precarious. King 5 here on the button for Patrik. Jack 3, let's see if Phil defends against an open. Bit cuspy, 2.5x. Loves to take flops, Phil. He's out of there against a 40 BB stack of Patrik.
Tense, buddy.
It is. I'm nervously shuffling
I
over
know,
here,
I know,
guys.
the
I got
boys
a
are out
stack
there,
of I'm
they're-
trying not to make noise, but
Everyone's super quiet in the main game room
no, you
right now.
can feel it. I mean, some interaction here for Phil with that 10 of spades. Same goes for Patrik, of course.
Not an easy hand to play when you do check call with the 5-3. Going to see a lot of cards
Maybe
like
if we're
this.
Phil, we keep it going. It really seems like this is on the table.
Try to target those ace highs, some of the 3s.
Exactly right. He comes with 80%. Well done.
I got Cash Live Poker in the chat. Appreciate the compliment, guys. Thank you very much. Ace 8 of hearts for Phil. Is this always a 3-bet?
No.
No.
40 bigs, it's kind of doesn't really want to get all in, but is obviously a fantastic hand. And Antonius here, not really running exceptional so far as board connection, although I guess averting hearts here is a small form of run good. He stabs him. Let's see what Phil does here. He went with north of half pot, but still fills in. Very reasonable. 5, 7, 8, ace high
Fair.
still. And now for Patrik, let us defer to the legend from Finland. High stakes legend, tournament legend.
At 6 deuce.
6 high, no spades, no diamonds.
Yeah,
but
that's
fortune
when you're
favor
playing
the
check
break,
calls
he
here, right? You
checks.
basically try to get them off ace high, king highs.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
ace high, king highs. And maybe even some sneaky ones like 5 jack, a pair with no future.
Right.
That I think can be overlooked at times. And now for Patrik, again. And he does
Skins
just
it
wave
up.
the white flag, which is understandable. He got a bit scared that Ivy's looking him up with all sorts of 2-pair, etc. Has some traps of his own. And Ivy now with a 4-1 lead, north of 4-1. Guys, Patrik is badly needing something to happen.
Patrik, send Patrik your energy in the chat if you guys are rooting for Patrik Antonius. I know he's got a lot of fans out there as well. Phil Ivey, of course. I mean, these might be 2 of the most popular poker players in the history of the game.
I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you know what? They've conducted themselves well over the years, straight up. I mean, they keep their head down. They show up. They play hard. And they bounce, kind of. You know, I mean, these guys are the real deal. I mean, so it's yeah, it's just great to see them down here. Ivy takes down jacks.
Oh, blind just went up as well,
Unlikely
too.
to
123.
Pick up any action. Couple of king 9s for the boys. 2 flush draws for Ivy, as they say. I make this joke every time. It's a bad one too, but
Bad one, huh? 2 flush draws, bad joke.
2 flush draws.
Yeah,
and a bad
you always
joke.
see those kind of jokes when you're playing live poker. People always make those kind of
Yeah, every
repetitive,
time,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, you
Like
want
for
to
Phil,
chop
we have a
like in a
call.
tournament.
It's a bit unexciting, but position, and let's see.
A player's gut shot here. Patrik with the initiative.
Yeah, this could often go check call, check fold, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. But with the 9 and a sort of board that in limp raise call at this depth kind of is good for the in position player. This stab is quite understandable. And Patrik has a very awkward spot here facing half pot. King high good sometimes. We don't have a backdoor, unfortunately, but the 9 Very key card. He does peel.
Phil's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on him. Patrick
is,
might be continuing
especially
with
with
his
the
ace
spade.
highs. Yeah.
Right. The spade is key here because Patrick can have king high has played some of these sorts of hands. So naturally, we don't want him to have king X of spades.
He does
He
indeed.
does keep the heat
Comes
on,
with
and
the
that's
pressure.
the winner. I mean, nothing is preordained, especially with these two, but
Patrick king high
nice
lays it
line
down.
there from Ivy. Bravo.
I'm really disappointed. Can't wear the Nolan Hold'em hat. I got my Texas Hold'em hat down here in Mexico. The headphone does not allow for the come on headphones. What's going on?
Look how Poppy look good. He's got the linen shirt going. He's got the hat. I mean, this guy's always smiling out by the beach. It's been a good week for Poppy GTO. Not GTO headquarters, as you said, but it's been a good week. Limp here from Patrick. Check from Ivy with the Jack 3 off. Sure. Oh boy, not good for Patrick at 16 effective. Yeah, I mean, you could check flop, I suppose, because you don't really want to get it in. And I think for Ivy with top pair here, the time is right now. It could be going in, Joey.
So Phil Ivey does check raise here. Patrik Antonius is going to be in a tough spot. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, second pair.
Exactly.
And he does.
The equity of just the 3 spades, and I suppose the 8 is not the best card for Patrick to have, but maybe it is. Backdoor straight draw as well. Hard to get away. I don't exactly know what's going on. The call, sure. And just like that, Poppy, Patrick finds himself drawing to a 10. 95 to 5 percentage-wise for Ivy to win this, unless somehow Patrick gets away, which seems impossible on this sort of turn.
Lock in, guys. This could be it. This could be the match. Phil
He's
Ivey.
going to think it through, though. I mean, it's awkward
victory,
for
Nick.
sure. That he is, Poppy.
He sits back, stretches out, looks around, smiles awkwardly, and he get away from this one. Check raise on the flop, limp pot, second pair, flush draw out there, straight draw out there. He does block one of the straight draws with that 8.
10 seconds for Patrick. Just 2 outs in the deck. Hard to know, though.
5% here if he does make this call, Nick. This is going to be potentially it for Patrik Antonius.
Oh, next level, Poppy. Next level
Lovely.
lay down. Bravo, Patrick.
What a fold right there.
Show marches on.
So Patrick's still alive. 11 big blinds still has a chance right now. Down quite a lot. 112 to 11. But great fold there from Patrik Antonius. First hat, Jack 3. And this might be it as well. Queen Jack of spades.
Going in right now, Joey. About a coin flip.
55-45, ace 10 offsuit for Phil. I imagine he's going to jam this in. And he does, all in.
A very crafty limp call from Patrick, by the way, at this step. And here we go, Poppy, just like that.
Here we go.
Oh my.
Patrick needs a queen or a jack.
Oh my God, queen. It's over. It's over.
What can I do?
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Phil Ivey comes back and takes down the $25,000 World Poker Tour. Heads up, no limit hold'em championship. 32 players entered, 1 player leaves. Of course, it's the GOAT. Podcast run good on his side, Mr. Phil Ivey, the legend himself. Does it again. We've been seeing this for many, many years. 2002, 2003, 2021, 40 years old plus, still getting the job done, Nick. And my God, what can you say about my man Phil Ivey out there?
Heartfelt congrats to Phil, one of the greatest of all time in any sport, probably the GOAT in poker. And I'm just over the moon happy for him. He's kept his head down and worked through some adversity over the years, and he's back, man. Great to see.
Absolutely incredible performance by Phil Ivey these past few days. We've seen this man make bluff after bluff after bluff, getting the job done, beating some very great players on the way to the championship. $400,000 and the trophy goes Phil Ivey's way. Patrik Antonius, my man, PA. Congratulations, brother. You fought hard. You played well. Second place to you. And I know he's disappointed about that, but Phil Ivey, he's got to be feeling good.
Bravo, Patrick, as well, though, Joey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate everybody for tuning in, for watching. YouTube, Twitch, it's been awesome. All the people in the comments, you guys have been great. Appreciate all the love you showed Nick, myself, Jamie Kerstetter, Doug Polk, every other poker commentator, Olivier Bousquet, Dan DeForest. And we just had a lot of people kind of contribute to this great event. Shout out to Kathy from WPT, Thomas as well, Dan, Poker King, World 100%. Poker Tour, all the guys from Sharehand working hard behind the scenes, shooting some great content. And
100% Phil Ivey, ladies and gentlemen, has returned. It's over. Let's go. 2021, baby.
Nick. Been awesome,
Big mama mentality. It's been real, guys.
Yeah, party away
there
tonight, and that's what we got. Much love. We're going to show you some highlights, and that's going to be the end of the World Poker Tour $25,000 Heads Up Nolan Hold'em Championship. Congratulations once again, Phil Ivey, on the victory. Take care. Peace out. Adios.